Hello everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. So we're in the sun a little bit. A nice sunny Valentine's Day. So this is our first time doing this, but I was thinking of coming in midweek, calling it midweek toast, and just eating lunch with you and showing you what I like to put on toast. I have a lot of weird toast concoctions that I make, so most of them have to do with peanut butter. So if you're interested in that, we'll see how many people watch and how intrigued you are by this. We'll keep doing it, so hopefully it becomes a series. I have my beet toast here. Let's see, the sunlight is getting in the way, but you can see it's the beet toast. We made this last week on stream. So on the weekends, I make bread. That's primarily what this channel is. On the weekends, I make bread and I stream the process of making bread, and it's all sourdough bread. So, and I have also creative things I do with sourdough bread. I'll show you the regular one, but I also show you things like this where you put beets in it. So this we did last week, so you missed out if you didn't see it last week because the stream was lost in the ether, but I will do it again. I'll do another beet one eventually. But next weekend, well, actually, the weekend coming up, right? The weekend coming up. We're going to stream on Sunday, and we're going to do bagels. So if you were interested, please join the stream on Sunday. But right now, I'm going to show you what I'm going to put on this beet sourdough toast. So, as promised, as just mentioned, it's going to be peanut butter. I have homemade peanut butter here, but this just isn't any peanut butter, which is why it's so exciting. Although you can imitate this toast with regular peanut butter to get at the store, I've done it before. But this isn't just any peanut butter. So, it's a spicy peanut butter. So this peanut butter, I added a spice mix. Oh, okay. I want to offer, I want to show you a spice mix. This spice mix, I made myself, but you can get it at a South Asian store. It's basically Indian pickle spice. I'm not going to put it on the toast because I already have it in the peanut butter, but I just wanted to show you. The lights. There you go. So it's a spice mix. It's often put in Indian pickles. It's called achari masala or achar masala, ACHAR. So if you're interested in this, if you don't think it's crazy, go for it. So it's going to be a spicy peanut butter. My favorite type of toast is spicy peanut butter toast. So I'll do that first. And then we're going to get even crazier. We'll see in a minute. So if there's any weird things that you guys like to put on toast or just eat in general, put it in the chat. Okay, let's get a peanut butter on this side. So I'm known for putting weird things on toast, especially on peanut butter toast. Like I like pickles on peanut butter toast, for example. A lot of people think that's weird. I like it. If you want a sweet variation, mangoes on peanut butter toast are really good. It's kind of like the peanut butter. I'm sorry, peanut butter and bananas. It's similar to that. All right, so we got peanut butter on here. Spicy peanut butter. And again, you can use regular peanut butter for this. I've done it before. Same toppings, but just with regular peanut butter. An achari spice, it's like, if you can imagine, it's for pickles, so it's like a little sour, or very sour depending on your palate. I'm gonna add more sour to it though with the lemon. Yeah, I'm gonna try to look this. Oh, maybe this is a better way to look at it. We're battling the sun here. But I'm gonna add more sour with the lemon. I might have to pick off the seeds because I'm not. Oh yeah, no seeds. That's really great. Okay, now. Hi, Brooke. Oh no, you're not Brooke. Hello. Tell me, do you want me to call you Kyo Hazura? I am Brooke's sister. Thanks for. I thought you were saying you were Brooke, but no, you're my sister's friend. Thanks for joining. I was just asking if there's any weird things that you like to put on toast or that you like to eat that other people think is Kyo. Okay, I'll call you Kyo. I was just asking if there's any weird things you like to eat or put on toast because I like to put a lot of weird things on toast. So now I'm going to put hot sauce on this. This hot sauce I actually made myself with Fresno chilies. The Fresno chilies make like a slightly thicker hot sauce, so it's kind of like sriracha, but it's a little different than like the store-bought sriracha. But you can use sriracha that you buy at the store. That's usually what I do if I don't have my homemade one. Yeah, see, it's thick, so it's having trouble coming out, but it's still good. Yeah, and this hot sauce, so I want to show you guys too, eventually, how to ferment things. I'm assuming people who are interested in sourdough might also be interested in fermenting other things, because this hot sauce is made with fermented peppers. So you ferment the peppers first, and all that means is you put it in a brine of salt water, and you let it sit out for about a week. If you leave it longer than a week, it'll just get more sour. And the natural lactic bacteria will kind of eat at the peppers and will kind of change their composition. That's what makes it sour. That's what makes pickles sour. The fermented pickles. There are quick pickles that you make with vinegar though, but the fermented pickles, it's the lactic bacteria. So yeah, I made that myself. And if you're interested, I could do a stream on fermenting things like peppers for hot sauce. Now I'm going to put parsley on. This is for #health. And for some greens, you know. I can also sometimes I put arugula on. It depends on what I have in the fridge. Some quick, although there's some dead ones right here, unfortunately. But if you put your parsley in a jar of water like this and cover it with plastic and put it in the fridge, it lasts a lot longer. Quick tidbit. If you guys like parsley or other herbs too, like cilantro will work for that. Dill, stuff like that. My cat's been shedding a lot lately. Cat hair everywhere. Sorry, that's gross. So how was everyone's Valentine's Day? Does anyone have plans for Valentine's Day? Does anyone have a special Valentine? Or doesn't have a special Valentine? So, I was never really a big holiday person. So, I mean, food, eat it, is, anesthetist. Please correct me or tell me what you want me to call you if that's not what it is. Anesthetist says that his or her Valentine is food. I'm assuming that's what he say. It's good. Yeah, that's a good Valentine to have. I guess they can't disappoint you. Well, I guess it could if it didn't taste good, or it gave you stomachache or something. So take that back. It could disappoint you, but I guess not the same way as a human can. But yeah, I'm not a big holiday person in general, especially like the minor holidays like Valentine's Day. So I'm really not doing anything today. I do have a husband who I guess is my Valentine, but we're not doing anything today. But my real Valentine, we want to talk about today, is one of my best friends who we met on Valentine's Day. Um, it was 8 years ago, so today is our 8-year anniversary. I'll just take a bite. Let's try it. It's really good with the beets because it makes it like sweet, a little sweet and spicy, and it's really good. And it's sour, spicy, sour, salty, and sweet. It's perfect. And like I was asking before, if anyone has any weird foods they like to eat or weird things they put on toast, let me know. I put a lot of weird things on toast, which was like the kind of inspiration for this. This one is with a spicy peanut butter, lemon juice, sriracha, or homemade sriracha, and parsley. So put a lot of weird things on toast. But if you have any weird foods you like to eat, let me know. Let's see if you can see the toast. It's really nice and sunny out. Unfortunately, I might need to get a shade or something for this. But anyway, my friend I met on Valentine's Day, and it's actually a great story because it was 8 years ago. I still lived with my mom at the time, and I think I was just out of college, so maybe 22, 23. I'm that age. I was kind of bored, I guess, because I was just out of college and my friends were all far away. I was used to having my friends all close to me because I lived on campus when I went to college. And then I went back home and all my friends were now different places. Not too far. Most of them were still in New Jersey, where I'm from. But too far for me just to get to, you can't do it like this in college, right? Like you just walk over to the dorm next to you. It's not quite the same. So I was like looking for things to do, and I found an activity. I think on Meetup. I don't know if that app is still used as much, but there used to be an app called Meetup for activities and for lonely people like me at the time, and it was for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, like whale, and it was a sea life conservatory. So they were raising money to help whale conservation, essentially. But it was a bake sale, and I love baking. As you know, this is what this channel is about. I love baking, right? So I was like, okay, and it had to be all vegan too, because it was a vegan organization. So I baked my vegan beet muffins, which I still make sometimes. They're favorite. They're a fan favorite. They're chocolate beet muffins. I love beets. That's why there's beets in the bread. It all comes full circle, really. It all comes full circle. So I made the chocolate beet muffins. It was in New York City. It was actually I don't know if this place is still there. It was a Moo Shoes in Chinatown. Moo Shoes is still around, but I don't know if it was that location still exists, which is a vegan shoe company. So it was a vegan bake sale to save money, to raise money to save the whales on Valentine's Day, called Valentine's Day. I had to get on the bus to New York City, get to Chinatown to sell these chocolate beet muffins. And I did that because I was crazy, and I still am a little bit, but that was definitely crazy. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing that. That sounds like fun. It's right up my alley. And that's where I met my friend, my one of my best friends now, if not my best friend. She lives in Brooklyn. She still lives there, and she lived there then. And she also got up early to bake and drag up her baked goods to Chinatown to bake for Valentine's Day. And that was 8 years ago. And so our anniversary is Valentine's Day, and that's why I celebrate Valentine's Day instead of Valentine's Day. She's my true Valentine, even though I'm happily married. Does anyone have a friend Valentine that they celebrate with, or that they, besides food, that they would consider their Valentine? I'll take another bite. Go over here. So now you can see a little. Yeah, so when we first met, we were both in our. She's a little younger than me by 2 years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. So when we met, we were both in our early 20s. So we were party animals. We were cuckoo, really were. And it was almost like, it almost reminds me a little bit like if anyone watches Broad City, it was a little bit like real life that. I don't know which one was which character. She was probably the more unhinged one than me, but a little bit like that. We were a little cuckoo. So we'd go out drinking and dancing like a lot. We had a good time though. That was good. And it was good to get it out of our system. But I remember one time, this is a good story. So she's, a little, she's eccentric, let's say, right? She's eccentric. And we were at a bar, and this is also something, just the background of this. She was always trying to flirt with guys for me, but she'd always pick out a guy that I didn't like, that I was like not interested in. So she'd pick like any guy. She'd be like, "That's your type," but it wasn't. It would be, some kind of skinny guy with a ponytail. Which, no offense if you were a skinny guy with a ponytail, but it was just, I never dated a guy like that before. But for some reason, she was convinced that one was my type, or that one was my type. So she was always flirting with guys for me. It was very funny to me. It was entertaining to me. I wasn't even annoyed by that. She'd have to be under the influence, drunk a little bit before she would do that. But she got it in her head. She has like very thick hair, right? And she got it in her head that she wanted to dread her hair, right? She wanted to dread her hair. I told her not to do it. I said, don't dread your hair. She didn't, thank goodness. And we were at a bar, and the bartender had dreads. So she was saying she wanted to dread her hair at this bar. She talks fairly loud. And then the bartender was like, "Oh yeah, you should do it. You should dread your hair," egging her on. But he was obviously flirting with her, right? He was obviously flirting with her, but she was not interested. And so she tried to pass him off onto me, but in like a very ridiculous way. So she points at me sitting next to her and goes, "She has big boobs," and which you'll never know if that's true or not, because this this is not a channel for showing my boobs. But she pointed to me and said, "She has big boobs," and he was like, "So?" And he was trying to give her his number on the receipt for the drinks, and she was like, "No, I'm not that kind of girl." No, I'm not that kind of girl. When of course she takes numbers from guys all the time, but it was just so funny. I don't know if any of you have any stories of your friends getting into trouble, especially if you are young now or when you were younger. Any of your friends getting into some shenanigans. Um, that's one that popped into my head. There's plenty of this friend in particular, but that's just one that popped into my head earlier today when I was thinking of Valentine's Day instead of Valentine's Day. Does anyone have any like past Valentines that were either really good or really bad? I know I told you that I was never really like a holiday person, so I never took Valentine's Day that seriously. I remember when I was in college, um, I was, though this had to be maybe 10 years ago, and I was dating this guy. We had probably just started dating. We weren't even really dating. We were just kind of, hanging out and doing, what college kids do. But we had probably for a few months, right? We've been dating for a few months, but it was kind of not that it was under wraps. Everyone knew, but we didn't like tell everyone. We wouldn't go, oh, like we're dating, oh, we're dating. Everyone most people kind of knew if they saw us together all the time. It was kind of obvious. I know it's not my husband now. This was, like I said, before I met well before I met my husband. And my roommate, who's still my friend now, also had a boyfriend who she had just started dating. She was very secretive. She was very secretive about who she dated. So unlike me, I just didn't really exclaim it out, but like I would keep it a secret. People knew, they knew. But she really kept it under wraps. Like I didn't even know about. Like I knew about it only because I just saw him around a lot, but it did take a while even for me to know. She didn't tell me, right? So she really kept it under wraps. Very secretive about this stuff. But so now, and Valentine's Day came around. Valentine's Day came around. I'm gonna keep moving my seat so I'm in this shape. We're gonna go musical chair style. Valentine's Day came around, and we wanted to do a Galentine's Day. We didn't. I mean, we basically we lived on campus with our boyfriends essentially at that time. It's pretty great, right? If anyone has lived on campus in college, especially for the full 4 years, you know what kind of strange lifestyle that is. That doesn't exist in the real world. It's kind of like you're in your own little. I mean, it's great when you're there, but it really is kind of like you're in your own little playground a little bit. I guess depending on what school you go to and how hard your classes are. But basically lived with our boyfriends, right? We didn't live in the same dorm as our boyfriends, but like we could like walk to the next dorm over, right? And so it wasn't really a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. We didn't have to see them on Valentine's Day. So we wanted to do a Galentine's Day. So we invited our friend over who lived off campus. Now, this was, like I said, 10 years ago, so there's no animosity between us and this friend at all. Even at the time, it's hard to make us, like, mad at her. But it was, just really unfortunate thing getting to what happened. So we're having fun. I don't remember exactly what we're doing. I think we're playing board games or something. We were chatting, girl talk, whatever. We were having fun. It was starting off to be a great Valentine's Day. And I think it was only us three. It was me, my roommate, and this other girl who lived off campus. And I thought, it was nice for her to come. She'd like to come on campus, right? So it was nice for her to be there. And she didn't know that we were dating these guys. And I think she was particularly upset when she found out that my roommate was dating her boyfriend, or was, doing whatever they do in college. We didn't really go on dates. We lived on campus. There was no reason to go out on dates. But she was, she was particularly upset. I don't know if she had a crush on that guy, or she just felt that she was out of the loop because she didn't live on campus. But she got upset, and she just her face went blank. She's, stopped talking. She didn't say anything. We were just like, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? And she just wouldn't say anything. Her face went blank. She wasn't crying or anything, but her face went blank. And then she got mad, and she put on her shoes and stormed out. Just stormed out. Did not say bye. Didn't even yell at us or get mad. Say anything. Well, she was mad, but she didn't yell at us and say anything. Exclaim anything mad at us or anything like that. So it was so weird. And, I'll never forget that because it was just so weird. It was bizarre. And like I said, I have no animosity towards her now, or even back then I didn't. But, that was a Valentine's Day that I'll never forget. It started off as a good Valentine's Day, and it ended it kind of hurt. And at the end, afterwards, our boyfriends did end up coming over because we had to tell them what happened. Why our Valentine's Day ended abruptly. But yeah, have any of you have a good or bad Valentine's Day that you'll never forget? Or maybe you celebrate Galentine's Day, or like me, Valentine's Day, even better, that you'd like to share? If anyone's eating lunch with me too, you can tell me what you're eating for lunch. I don't know if anyone who came in late is eating lunch now. So I was thinking also for Valentine's Day, is Valentine's Day appropriate to tell you some juicy ex-boyfriend stories? We'll see. I like juicy ex-boyfriend stories, so I'm assuming you guys might also like juicy ex-boyfriend stories. But it could be a bummer too. But so we'll see. I have this one really, really great one. It's not really related specifically to Valentine's Day, other than the fact that it was a former boyfriend of mine. So it was actually during the time. It wasn't quite 10 years ago. It was almost 10 years ago, maybe 7 to 8 years ago. And for those of you who don't know me that well, or don't know this about me, I moved to Boston like 7 or 8 years ago, and I moved there. I went to grad school there actually, and I stayed a little after I graduated. I stayed and worked there for a little bit, but then I came back to I came back and moved to Brooklyn, then back to New Jersey. So I came back eventually, but this is right before that happened, and it's actually the day I met. Okay, so I met my then soon to be boyfriend, soon to be ex boyfriend, the day that I got the letter that said I was accepted, I think, to the Boston University master's program. I was in a good mood. But I remember I told you I was a little cuckoo when I was younger. I was just kind of, I don't want to say a thrill seeker, but definitely seeking some adrenaline rush. Oh, I know a lot of young people are like that. I'm not the only one. but it was getting a little bad. So we went to this bar in Clifton, which, spoiler, I used to live there. It's a town in New Jersey, for those of you who don't know. I know most of you are from New Jersey, so me saying I went to a bar in Clifton means nothing to you. But it's a town in New Jersey I used to live in. I don't remember why we chose that place because it was kind of a weird place to go to. Maybe my friend knew someone there or something. I don't remember, but we went there, and um, he, we'll call him. This is actually what I used to call him, which is not his real name, so I can just use it. It's a non-identifier because only I called him this, and no one really knew besides my friends. Salsa James is what I used to call him. He works there, right? He worked there. He was like the sound tech guy. I didn't know that. I didn't know him yet, and this is when I met him when I went there. And I must have. I don't remember exactly, but I must have seen him and thought he was cute. I must have, because I know me, and I know if I like a guy, I'm gonna go after him. But I just remember, me and him, we started dancing, and we were like it was magnetic. Like it's one of those things that you might dream about and like or seeing like a romantic comedy or something. It was magnetic. Like we instantly connected. We people were watching us dance because they probably thought we knew each other. We were dancing like we had known each other, right? And then after that, it just kind of took off. Totally took off. It was very, very rushed, kind of, as you can imagine. And we're boyfriend and girlfriend like in less than a week. We were calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. But two takeaways actually already. I don't trust people out. Maybe I'm too pessimistic, but people who are very charismatic, usually not a good sign in my opinion. Could be also good liars. But again, that might be me being pessimistic. But yeah, this guy was very charismatic, very charming, charmed the socks off of everyone. Everyone loved him when they first met him, right? But he obviously had another side to him, which I'll get to. But yeah, my mom loved him. He charmed my mom. He was, as we'll learn, he's total. I'm not gonna use any bad language, but we'll learn what he was like. Yeah, he's very charming. Another thing is that he, and this is again making me being pessimistic too judgmental. He was in a band. I'm pretty sure his band was not active when I was seeing him, right? But he was a singer in a band. And I think he just had like a high ego. Like usually boys in bands, I don't advise dating guys in bands either, but I feel like they have a high ego problem, right? But anyway, so like I said, at first it was great. We were very attached. We were, goo gaga over each other, as I like to say, hard eyes over each other. But then it was I was going to say it was gradual, but it wasn't gradual. It was kind of more abrupt. It was kind of more abruptly. I stopped hearing from him as much. Abruptly, he wasn't coming over as much. Abruptly, he wasn't answering my calls. And it wasn't the type of thing where, it was abnormal. It was very abnormal. And, eventually when I did get him on the phone, which was different, I felt like I was going crazy. So I felt that, maybe I'm the one who's overthinking this, or maybe I shouldn't call him 3 times in a row. But it was like his reaction or non-reaction to my call is what made me like want to call him 3 times in a row. Like, where are you? Like you said, like he'd say, "Oh, we'll hang out this day." It was like this. I was like, "Oh, we'll hang out on Sunday." Then I'd call him on Sunday and no answer. And it's like, I thought we were hanging out today. And then once I finally got him on the phone, he would make up some excuse, some like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I worked so much this week or whatever." And, yada, yada, all the excuses he had. Right. And then it would get better for a while. And then it would, it was a cycle, which I'm sure you've heard this story before, right? Of a manipulator, what a manipulator would do. So it was a cycle of, I'll treat you really well, and then, I'll start ignoring you again, and then I'll treat you really well, just to keep you kind of on the hook, right? So that went on for a fairly long time, except I was going to move to Boston. It was almost like this thing where I wanted to go to get away from him because I was obviously very attached to him, but I knew he was like treating me really badly. And I'm sure you've heard this story before too. Even though he was treating me really badly, I didn't want to break up with him because I was in love with him. I was in love with that guy, and it was really hard for me to let go. So instead of just letting go, I like moved to another state. Okay, I moved to another state. Bless you. That was my cat. Bless you, Munchkin. So I moved to another state to get away from this guy, and also to start my graduate school. But so now that I'm states away, can you imagine what happens? I'm sure you all know what happens. Then he starts calling me. Then he starts texting me. Then, and I have one specific instance to give you a hint of what this was like. He calls me in the middle of the night, but I'm in Boston. He's who knows where. Well, he told me where he was when he called me, but right. So he calls me in the middle of the night, and I do answer, which is almost like a test, right, to see if I would answer almost. But I do. I answer it, and he's asking me. He's like, "I'm in Philadelphia." I don't know what that means to me. I'm in Philadelphia, and can you give me directions? Why would I know directions to Philadelphia? It was like a random. It was almost like he called me because he thought I would answer, and he was right. Right, he was right. I would answer. So that's just one example. Basically, he was calling and texting me, and I had to break up with this guy twice, basically, because eventually I told him he should probably stop talking to me so much. And he got upset, he got mad, and I was just like, I don't see the big deal. Like, you don't, right? You don't want to be, with me anymore. You don't want to, you ignore me when I'm there, and yet now I'm telling you, well, maybe you should calm down a little bit, and we shouldn't talk as much. You're like mad at me. So I had to break up with him twice. This guy. And even still, and I actually have, even though I'm telling this really negative story about him, I have no ill will towards this guy either. He's going through his own problems, as we all are. And I don't think he even realizes what he did. I think someone would have to explain to him what he did. But some people don't realize what they're doing until afterwards, unfortunately. But even after, like now, it's been years, so much has happened since then. I'm married. I'm happily married now. So that's good. But still, sometimes I get texts from him. The last text I got from him, he was telling me he moved to New Orleans. And I said, okay, good. Don't get eaten by alligators. And then he said something like, oh, I should fly you down here. And I was just like, are you going to fly my husband down there too? You can't just... Who am I? I'm not your girlfriend. You can't just fly me down to see you. I don't mind seeing you, but not in that way, right? It's so bizarre world sometimes, but everyone. I'm sure everyone has these types of stories. Does anyone else have like maybe like an ex-boyfriend story that's a crazy ex-boyfriend story or girlfriend story or romantic interest of any kinds story that's not too dark, not too dark, just dark enough to be interesting, that they don't mind sharing, or a positive one to counteract my negative one. The lighting is off, sorry. I can move over here. That's a little tricky. I'm fighting the sun. There you go. Oops, I got parsley in my hair. That should be my nickname now. Parsley in my hair. What's everyone's favorite holiday? Does anyone really like Valentine's Day? Like, that's their favorite holiday? I've never heard anyone say Valentine's Day was their favorite, but I'm sure it's someone's favorite. I prefer the fall holidays, like Halloween, obviously, the first major fall holiday, Halloween, then Thanksgiving, and then leading up to Christmas is also, I like Christmas too, but I think Thanksgiving is probably my favorite now. I don't know, it's either Halloween or Thanksgiving. Halloween definitely used to be my favorite, but I don't dress up as much as I used to. I used to love to get dressed up. Um, hmm. Oh, this is a good one. Not Valentine's Day related, but Halloween related. When I was younger, very younger, like 8 years old, I was the evil tooth fairy for Halloween, and my mom helped me with this. She had tooth, a tooth that she she must have gotten a hole through it. I don't know. She got a needle and thread through it because she made a necklace with the tooth. It was a real tooth. It was our baby, one of our baby teeth, one of me and my sister's baby teeth. And I had actually I shouldn't say teeth because I had a tooth necklace filled with teeth. The evil tooth fairy for Halloween with a tooth necklace going to elementary school. That was me. That's why I used to love Halloween. But I really don't get dressed up really as much as I used to. I never thought I would say that like when I was a kid. I always thought, oh, I'm always gonna be fun. Then when you get old, you get not fun. But no, I'm just kidding. There's just other things to do, I guess. I still like the spooky vibe. I like watching horror movies and stuff on Halloween, making Halloween treats and stuff like that. I still like to do, but there's parsley in my teeth, parsley in my hair, parsley in my teeth. Sorry, got it. Yeah, you get older and you just change your priorities, I guess. Thanksgiving, I think, is the best family holiday because I don't like. This might be a hot take. I don't think it's that hot of a take. I'm sure there's other people who feel the same way, and you can tell me in the chat if you feel the same way. I don't like the gift giving aspect of Christmas personally. So I like Christmas. I like the family aspect of Christmas. Not only the gift giving aspect. I always feel there's pressure to get good gifts, and there's also pressure to like all the gifts that your people give you. Because I really don't like having junk around the house. It's not useful. If it's not being used, I don't like to have it. Right? Everything has to have a purpose. So if you give me something, it should have a purpose. But how is everyone? That's not even fair to them to expect that, right? For me to expect that they'll know exactly what I want. So then I just don't like that aspect of it. It's not fair on the gift giver. It's not fair on the gift receiver. I don't like that aspect of it. But I like the family aspect, and that's why I like Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving doesn't have the gift aspect. Still has the family and food aspect. I like making Thanksgiving food, veganized Thanksgiving food. For those of you who don't know, I am vegan. Some of you probably know because that might be why you're here, because this is tagged vegan. And for those of you who came in like later, this is called Midweek Toast because on the weekends, please come back on the weekends if you want to see me make sourdough, because that's what this channel is all about. I'm going to be making sourdough. In fact, the one I'm eating here, it's a little older because I made it last week. This one I streamed. This is actually not even the one I streamed. It's the one I made the day before I streamed, which is why it's like very, very hard. But it's also because I toasted it. But it's still good. But last week I made beet sourdough, and I made masa sourdough, maseca flour, and a plain sourdough. And this weekend I'm gonna make bagels, sourdough bagels, and also going to make, although it's more of an experiment, so we'll see how it comes out, miso banana bread. I know last week someone asked me about quick bread, and that would be a quick bread with baking powder instead of yeast or sourdough. But yeah, so we're gonna make sourdough on the weekend, so please come back. But this midweek toast thing, I was just going to show you different things I put on toast. I put a lot of weird things on toast, and today I put spicy peanut butter that I made with peanut butter that I homemade, an achari, a seasoning, which is Indian pickle seasoning. You can make it yourself, or you can get it at an Indian grocery store if you have one by you. Or skip it. If you want to remake this, you can also skip it and just use everything else. Then I put lemon juice, hot sauce, and parsley on it. So that's my weird toast concoction today. I'll try to switch it up. I'm a creature of habit, but I have a lot of weird toast concoctions that I can switch up for you. So yeah, but this is our toast concoction for today. And if anyone, like I asked earlier, but some people might have come in later, if anyone has any weird things they put on toast or weird foods they eat in general, like put in the chat. Or any suggestions, you can put in the chat. I'd love to hear it. I might do a peanut butter and pickle one next week. We'll see. We'll see. Whatever's in the stars. Whatever's in the peanut butter stars is what I'll make. The weather's starting to get nicer, although there was a snowstorm yesterday here in New Jersey, so maybe I'm full of it. But it's starting to get a little warmer in February, so I don't know. Could probably it's a fall spring. Usually there's a fall spring in February in New Jersey. The seasons are not normal here. We always have spring and fall are the best seasons here. If anyone is not from the East Coast, especially the Northeast, you might not be familiar with the season. We have great seasons. Spring and fall are really great. They're usually mild. It's beautiful, especially like the spring, you have all the flowers, and in the fall, you have all the leaves. It's beautiful. Great weather. And something that's different, so I've also been to Los Angeles. My husband is from Los Angeles, so I've been there quite a bit to visit his family. And something that's different, obviously the weather is always beautiful in Los Angeles. Like 99% of the time it's beautiful. But something that's different about the East Coast weather is when you get to the point that it's beautiful. Like when you get to fall, like proper fall and proper spring, where it's like 60 to 70 degrees, slight breeze, sunny. When you get to that point, you really appreciate it more. Because if in the spring, you just came out of the winter, so you're just used to the cold, blizzardiness, windy, blizzard, icy. You might slip. I'm always afraid of slipping in the ice. Like it just snowed yesterday. I haven't been outside yet, so it probably is fine by now. But maybe yesterday morning it might have been slippery. I'm always afraid of falling, which I have fallen before because there's black ice. Sometimes you can't see. If you're not familiar with black ice, it's just you can't see. It's on pavement and you can't see the ice. It's not even shiny. It's just you can't even see it. So I've fallen on that before. So so you really appreciate it. And in the fall, you're just coming out of the summer, which the summers here are humid and hot and sticky. Sometimes they're pleasant. Like a lot of people love summer, so I shouldn't speak down on it 100%. But it can get really hot and humid, and it's rainstorms all the time, and eventually it's just too much. So in the fall, you feel relief from that. So you always appreciate that nice mild temperature more. In LA, I always feel like it's always this temperature. It's always 70 degrees. So it's always sunny. It's always sunny in it's not always sunny in Philadelphia, despite the name of the TV show, but it is always sunny in LA. Yeah. So when the weather gets nice here, it's like you really appreciate the beautiful weather. So yeah, spring is coming up soon next month. But like I said, the weather here is weird. There's usually a false spring in February where it gets kind of warm in February for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, and it gets cold again and it starts blizzarding. So you have to be careful. The same thing might happen in September. It might start to get cool and be like, "Oh, it's fall," but then it gets hot again, and then oh, it's not fall yet. It's a false fall and a false spring. Yeah. So where is everyone from? What's the weather like where you're from? So like I said, there was a snowstorm yesterday. We had a snow day. I'm a teacher, so we had a snow day. We had a proper snow day. We didn't have to go to class or we didn't have to do remote class either. Um, and today I usually work too, but the teacher I work with is sick. Because right now, an academic coach is kind of like a teacher's aide. So right now, I'm not the teacher. Kind of took a step back a little. But the teacher I work with called in sick, so the class got canceled. So double snow day. That's why I haven't been outside since it snowed. But yeah, usually I do work on Wednesdays. Well, where was I going with that? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, it's because it snowed. It snowed. So is anyone here like a snow person? They're like a snow bunny. They love to be in the snow. Wow. Crunchy. I'm not. I don't like snow. Like I said, I'm afraid of slipping. I was never a huge fan of it either. I don't remember as a kid really loving it, but definitely liked it more than I do now. Like I said, when you get old, you get you get boring. Um, yeah. So I don't like snow. But my husband's from LA, like I said, and so my husband really didn't see proper snow until he was in his 20s and he moved here. So he's still fascinated by snow. He's still fascinated by snow. So he's like a child almost. He's like starry eyed. He loves to come out and see the snow and snowstorm. He went outside yesterday, even though he didn't have to. He just went outside to look at the snow. So yeah, he didn't see snow until he's in his 20s. And some of his relatives still in LA have never seen snow, which is crazy to me. But there's a lot of people out there who just never seen snow. But I was born in a snowstorm, so. Oh, Lala Ren, please correct me if that's not right. Lala Ren said that sandwich looks really good. Thank you. So let me take a step back and talk about what we're doing. So, I'm calling this midweek toast because I want to show you my weird toast concoctions. And I'll tell you this about this one right now in case you didn't see it earlier. So the base is peanut butter. It's my own peanut butter that I made, but you can use any peanut butter. I would suggest like if you buy it from the store, the runny one, the natural runny one, that's the best one. But whichever one you like is fine. But what's cool about this one is I made it myself and I mixed it with a spice mix. I also make the spice mix myself, but you can buy it at the store too. If you have a South Asian grocery store or Indian grocery store by you, it's like Indian pickle spice or achar masala. So I mix it with peanut butter, and if you can imagine, it's a pickle spice, so it's an Indian pickle spice. So it's like spicy, but also it's sour and salty. So it's really good. Then I added lemon juice to it because it's not sour enough for me apparently. I like sour food. And then I added some homemade hot sauce, and then I had some parsley to it. So yeah, I have some really weird sandwich and toast concoctions. Um, Especially with peanut butter because I love peanut butter. So Lala Ren, thank you for saying the sandwich looks good. Some people do not like my concoctions, but I think they're interesting enough to share. But let me know if you, Lala Ren, if you have any weird toasts that you like to make, or sandwiches that you like to make, or weird foods in general that other people might find weird, but you think are delicious. Always find that interesting. Lala Ren says that sounds like a really interesting combination of ingredients. It is, and it's salty, sweet, sour, spicy. It's like all the good flavors that I like. But yeah, a lot of people would think that was weird. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to show you that. But really, this is kind of like a side segment because on the weekends I'm going to be streaming my sourdough bakes. So on the weekends, I'm going to be here in the morning, 8 a.m. Hopefully the sun won't be as strong at 8 a.m. So it'll be better in terms of the lighting. 8 a.m. I'm going to be here showing you my sourdough. Last week we made the beet sourdough. We made Maseka sourdough. Lala Ren says, to be honest, I rarely ever make sandwiches if not boring ones for work. Yeah, sandwiches are good for work. I agree. Lala Ren, what are some foods that you like to eat? So yeah, last weekend we made this one, the beet sourdough, the Maseka sourdough with Maseka masa flour, Maseka corn flour, and we made a plain country loaf. And this weekend we're going to make bagels, and we're going to make a miso banana bread. So yeah, this is kind of a side segment, but during the weekends we're going to be I'm going to be streaming myself making this, so hopefully you can learn something from that if you're interested in making your own bread or your own sourdough. So yeah, but you can also just watch me eat toast. That's fine too. Totally acceptable. Lala Ren says she doesn't like anything but mushrooms. I love mushrooms. What is it, Lala Ren, about mushrooms that you don't like? Is it the texture? Lala Ren says I just don't like the flavor at all, and I don't know why. Lala Ren says I love most food, but mushrooms I just can't. Yeah, I like mushrooms. Let's think. That's a good point. Are there any foods that I just don't like? Radishes. Radishes I don't like. I don't know what it is. I think they're bitter to me. They taste bitter to me. I used to think grapefruit was also bitter, but I think maybe I just had a bad one. I just had a bad experience with it. I am a little iffy on the citrus sometimes, though. If I have a bad citrus fruit, I can't eat it for a while. Like, I can't eat oranges for a while after that. Lalaran says, I love radish. I rarely eat them, but they're really good. Yeah, so we just have different taste buds because I like mushrooms. But I can't eat radish. I just hate radishes. And like, if I see a radish in something, I will just pick it right out. I can smell it from a mile away. There was like these husband and I we were in Los Angeles, so we were at a restaurant because we weren't at home, so we went out to eat. We don't eat out that much really, and I suggest that if anyone's trying to save money. But we were in Los Angeles. We went to like one of those takeaway, easy kind of salad restaurants. I'm sure you've seen them. They're like it's like fast food, but it's salad. Um, and I got something, and I didn't realize it had radishes in it. But I could taste it, one, but two, they were the rainbow radishes, so they weren't like the regular radishes. They were like rainbow, and I was like, it's a radish, and I picked them all out. My husband didn't believe me that it was a radish because of the color. They're one of those fancy kind of heirloom, I guess, radishes. But I was like, no, that's a radish. I just know it's a radish. I don't care what color it is, and yeah, I had to look it up later to show him, so he would believe me that there are radishes that color. But yeah, I can't with the radish. I'm gonna break this. I'm trying to think if there's any other foods that I can't, like, not that I can't eat them. I refuse to eat them. Oh yeah. This one, I mean, I will eat it. It's not as bad as the radish. The radish is bad. But Lala Red says, yeah, mushroom is the only thing I can think about that I just can't eat. The second one, which again I will eat this one more than the radish, over the radish. But pineapple, this is a controversial take. I don't really like pineapple. I think it kind of stings your mouth. I like other fruits. I like mangoes. That they sting your mouth a little bit, and of course all kinds of berries and apples and everything. But pineapples, they just kind of sting your mouth, and it's not that tasty. It's also annoying to open, so I just usually don't buy pineapples. But I'll eat it, but it's not my first choice. And Lala Red says I absolutely love pineapple. Do you like because sometimes I like it better like this if it's grilled. Have you had grilled pineapple? Lala Red? Lala Ren says I'm not a lover of grilled or heated vegetable or fruit. But yeah, they're good, but way better just normal. Okay. I'll respect that. There are other things I can't eat raw, so maybe Lala Ren's the opposite of me. Like I can't eat certain vegetables raw. Well, I can. It's physically possible, but I just don't like it. So like broccoli. Lala Ren says my only exception is carrot. I love oven made carrots. Carrots are one that I will eat raw. Carrots are good raw. Cooked and raw, they're both good. But raw broccoli I don't like. Raw celery I don't like. Even raw tomatoes, like I won't eat them plain. They'd have to be in something else. They'd have to be in a salad or something, or in a sandwich. But yeah. I think the only two I can think of are like that people usually eat raw. Broccoli, I don't get that. I don't get eating broccoli raw, or cauliflower, any of those. And I don't understand raw celery. Even with like cream cheese or peanut butter on it, I don't understand it. Cooked celery and cooked broccoli is fine. But raw? No thank you. But I know Lala Run, if she eats all that raw fruit and vegetables, she's going to get a lot of vitamin C, so that's good. Lala Run says, I'm bored of tomatoes. My dad started growing tomatoes at home when I was a kid. That's so cool. Not that you're bored of them, but that my dad grew tomatoes. I know here we're in New Jersey right now. Tomatoes, tomatoes grow a lot. A lot of people grow tomatoes and they grow pretty prolifically. So I'm assuming that Lala Ren's dad had a lot of tomatoes. Tomatoes. The same thing here with zucchinis. Like if people have zucchini plant, they'll have like so many zucchinis that they don't even know what to do with. They give them to the neighbors and stuff. So yeah, over here we grow a lot of tomatoes and zucchinis in home gardens. Lala Ren said, yeah, it's cool and I loved it for maybe 10 years, but then I got so tired of it. Yeah, I want to, like right now we're in an apartment. It's a really nice apartment, but it's an apartment still. Hiding away from the sun. It's still an apartment. And eventually, if we buy a house, which I would like to eventually, I would want to have a garden. We have a little garden here. I'm not going to show you because they're drooping right now. I just watered them, so they'll be back up. But it's like 5 plants. It's 5 plants, and 2 of them are parsley. I love parsley, so it's good to have some parsley. But yeah, when we have more space, I'd like to have a garden. Maybe with some tomatoes, but they're not my favorite, so maybe not. I don't know, but it'll be fun. I would want to grow like different kind of peppers because I love spicy food. And I can experiment making hot sauces with the different peppers. That would be fun. And you can preserve peppers. You can dry them if you get too much. You can dry them. You can pickle them. You can freeze them even. Tomatoes food like sandwich. So Lala Ren said tomatoes food like sandwiches or for tacos, etc. is still lovely. Like tomatoes on other things. Yeah, I like tomatoes on other things, not by itself. Usually, not by themselves. I also love beets. I can eat beets raw too. Obviously, not like take a bite at a full beet, but you can grate it raw and put it in sandwiches. It's really good that way. Or you can put it into a smoothie raw. It's also good like that. Just put something sweeter in there, like banana and berries, like banana, beets, berries, and peanut butter smoothies. Really good. So I'd probably grow beets. The only thing is the root vegetables. I feel like they're not as pickled beets are so good. Lala Ren said, "Oh yeah, pickled beets are really good." So she knows what's up. I underestimated you, Lala Ren. I thought, oh, she likes pineapple and radish. She doesn't know what's up, but she knows what's up. Pickled beets are really good. I love pickling beets. The only thing with growing root vegetables is, I mean, I'll learn eventually if I have my own garden. But it's like, with a tomato or a zucchini or even peppers, they just keep growing. But root vegetables, you have to keep sowing because it's like when you pick out the bee, you kind of pick out the root essentially, so it's not growing anymore. It's done, from my understanding. So, but if I eventually start a garden, I figure all that out. But right now, I have scallions too here, like easy to grow stuff. I do have a pepper plant that's like 3 or 4 years old. I don't know how it's still alive, but it's still alive. I always think it's gonna die and it's still alive. So it does grow peppers. It grows like little ones though. And it's not that because it's inside. It doesn't grow that much, but it still grows. The edges are really crispy because one, it was toasted, but this was made over a week ago, I think. Wait, when did I make this? So we streamed on Saturday. So this was a Friday bake. This was last Friday, and it's Wednesday now. So it was 5 days ago. So, and it is a little crunchy. But again, I toasted it, so it made it a little extra crunchy. But it's still good. Something that's good about sourdough, and I'll keep reiterating this, is that it just lasts a long time. It does last a long time. And if you think it's going to take you like really a long time, like over a week to eat, you would just slice it and put it in the freezer. But yeah, it's good. So Lala Ren, do you make pickles at all, or you just like pickled beets? Lala Ren says I don't make them my own, but I buy them. Yeah, I've gotten into like making a lot of pickles. Go back. You can see the outline of my plant. That's pretty cool. I've gotten into making pickles. Both quick pickles. I do quick pickles a lot, like quick pickled onions. If you like pickled onions, they turn pink when they're in the acidic environment, so they're really pretty. They're bright pink. So I make onion pickles, which are quick pickled usually. But I've made beet pickles by fermenting them, which is even more fun. I have a fermenting crop. Seeing if this is better if I move back. I have a fermenting crop. Have you tried pickled red onions, Lala Ren? Have you tried pickled red onions? Yeah. Pickled red onions are really good. Pickled red onions, like I said, they turn bright pink in the acidic environment. And you can put them on tacos. You can put them on sandwiches. I think you can buy them, but it's really easy to make them because you just need vinegar, water, and salt, and sugar, and then of course red onions. And they're quick pickles, so they're like instant. Within 5 minutes, within 5 minutes, 5 to 50 minutes, putting the onions into the pickle liquid, it'll turn pink and it'll be pickled. So it's like really quick, really quick. So I really recommend trying to make it at home. You can look up a recipe. There's so many recipes and they're all fairly similar, right? Because it's a basic kind of thing you can make. So yeah, pickled red onions I really recommend, especially because they're really easy to make. But I also really get into like fermenting, like long fermented pickles that might take a week or more. Lala Ren said, "Yeah, I've been thinking about making them on my own. I actually talked to my coworker about it today. What a coincidence! Happy Valentine's Day." It's in the stars. Yes. I recommend trying it. It's easy. Like I said, it's so easy, it's so quick, and it's really good. Oh, everyone said Happy Valentine's Day. But I also make, like I mentioned earlier, I made this hot sauce. Some stuff on it. Trying to see if there's a spot without the light. I'll have to, this is my first time doing it. Next time I'll have to organize it better so I'm not all the way in the light. This is better actually, down here. So this is hot sauce. It's in a maple syrup jar, but I just used the maple syrup jar, reused it. But I made this hot sauce, and I made it by fermenting Fresno chilies, which are like, they're kind of like jalapenos, but they're red. If you didn't know, sriracha is made with red jalapenos, but I can't find them anywhere. So I just used the Fresnos because I can get them. They sell them at Whole Foods, and they also sometimes sell them at the farmer's market in the summer. So yeah, I made this myself, and I made it by fermenting the chilies. So I also might show you one weekend, maybe in the summer. I can show, instead of doing like a weekly bake, I can show you how to ferment something like chilies for hot sauce,
or I ferment beets too, and I also ferment the beet greens and make like a sauerkraut type thing out of the beet greens because I don't want to waste them, and they're really good, and they're even better as sauerkraut. Hold on one second. One second. Just gonna mute myself.
Gonzalo, I think they're here for Walmart.
Okay, yeah. So I often do the beet greens like sauerkraut. Than it's even better than just like beet greens by themselves. I really recommend it. Not wasting the beet greens if you like beets. So yeah, maybe one weekend I'll do that instead of the bread. Loren said, "My stomach is way too sensitive for hot food. I can like it at times, but it always messes with my stomach too much." That's a shame. I know everyone has their different like intolerances and tolerances. I love hot food. I love spicy food. Personally, but there are other things you could ferment. If you like pickles, you don't have to ferment chilies. Like I said, we can do beets or beet greens. If you like sour food, which I'm assuming if you like pickles, you like sour food. My pumpkin says, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, ex-pumpkin. Lala Ren says, my mouth likes hot food, but my tummy can't. That's sad. I'm sad for you. No, but it's okay. You probably get used to it. But yeah, sour foods, you can do beet greens, beet pickles. Pickled onions, you should definitely try. Not spicy, they're just sour. And they add a lot of flavor to like sandwiches and tacos and stuff. Ex Pumpkin is here, and if you all like video games, you can follow her. She streams video games like Toontown, and I don't know all the video games you could just click on her channel and follow her and figure it out. I'm not a video game person, but I know she does Toontown. Happy Valentine's Day, Pumpkin. Ex Pumpkin says something. Happy Galentine's. Does anyone have any Valentine's or Galentine's Day stories? I told a few earlier, but I don't know if everyone was here when I was telling the stories earlier, so I might have been talking to the air about all my stories. What's Galentine? Oh no. It's like Valentine's, but for your girlfriends. Pumpkin says, I was taking my lunch nap. Lala Red was the one who asked who's Galent or what's Galentine's. Pumpkin says it's for the gals. Yes. It's Valentine's Day for the gals. Yeah, I was saying earlier that I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day that much, but for those of you who weren't here earlier, this is the first story I think I told. I met my friend, one of my best friends, if not my best friend now, on Valentine's Day 8 years ago. So today's our 8-year anniversary of meeting. And we met because there was give me 1 minute. I moved the table, so now I have to get the charger. Give me 1 minute. I'll tell the story of Valentine's Day. Okay. So we met because there was a bake sale. There was a Valentine's Day bake sale. And what that was for was for sea life conservation. So it was to raise money for basically whale conservation. And it was it had to be all vegan too because it was a vegan organization. And it was being held at Moose Shoes, which is a vegan shoe company. They make like faux leather and stuff like that. And at the time, I was in my early 20s, but I was just out of college, so I was kind of bored. All my friends were far away, right? Like, far enough that I couldn't see them every day.
Not like in college where you can just walk over to the dorm next to you. So I was in New Jersey still, but I took the bus all the way to New York City, all the way down to Chinatown with my muffins, with my chocolate beet muffins, and I sold them at Moose Shoes in Chinatown for whale conservation, and that's where I met my best friend. Was also there at the time. She wasn't my friend; I didn't know her. That's when I met her, and so Valentine's Day is our anniversary. So that's honestly the best Valentine's story I have. That's number one on the list of Valentine's Day stories for me. So yeah, I never really celebrated Valentine's Day that much though. But yes, Valentine's Day. I do celebrate Valentine's Day, and that's today. So yeah, does anyone else have like any Valentine's Day stories? Or does anyone do anything for Valentine's Day besides hanging out with me? Pumpkin says you should celebrate Mistress Day. Okay, I'm the one not in the know now. Pumpkin, what is Mistress Day? Pumpkin says it's when you take your side thing out to dinner the day before or after Valentine's. Pumpkin said, I have seen it exactly 3 times while waitressing. Exactly 3 times. I've never heard of that. Mistress Day. Well, luckily, I don't have a mistress. Munchkin, my cat is waking up. That's what I was looking at. My cat is distracting me. I don't have a mistress, so unless I guess I took one of my friends out for Mistress Day. Couldn't do it. Pumpkin says you can take Gonzalo out to eat and see if any drama happens. Oh yeah, okay. That's a good idea. So Gonzalo's my husband, so yes, I could take Gonzalo out the day before Valentine's Day or after, and then see if anyone else is celebrating Mistress Day and see if there's any drama bombs going on. I could do that. Thanks for the tip. I'll try that. Well, actually, I could do it tomorrow, but I think my husband's working tomorrow, but maybe next year. We'll celebrate Mistress Day. Pumpkin, do you celebrate Mistress Day? I can't. Pumpkin says, he, I can't tell you. Okay. We'll leave that. We'll leave that out in the cards. Is anyone else here doing anything for Valentine's Day? Wait. Pumpkin says, wait, what was for lunch? All I see is an empty plate. Okay, so I'll go over it again. It's empty because I finished. But I was here for over an hour eating, and it usually does not take me that long to eat. So that was actually a long time for me. I'm usually a pretty fast eater. So I had the beet sourdough that we made last week, actually. Pumpkin says, can you eat another one? No. I can't eat another one. I can do it next week, though. But I made the beet sourdough. Pumpkin's crying. Pumpkin has a crying face. I had the beet sourdough that I made last week, and then I put some peanut butter on it. But it's not just any peanut butter. If anyone watches the stream over again, like the whole thing through, they'll see me say this 5 times, and they should be really excited every time I say it because it's important. It's not just any peanut butter. I made it myself, and not only did I make it myself, but I added a special spice mix to it, which I also have here to show you guys. It's an achari masala blend that I made myself, but you can get it at an Indian grocery store. And what it is, it's basically Indian pickle spice mix. And Indian pickle is a lot different than like regular like cucumber pickle. It's spicy and sour, but it just has has this crazy flavor that I've actually never had before. It's a very strong taste, so it's I can even smell it. I can smell it from here. You guys can't because there's no spice vision or smell vision. Pumpkin says spicy. There's no smell vision, so you guys can't smell it, but it's as strong. It's a strong flavor. But if you're interested in trying it, I mean, it's delicious. If you like South Indian food, you should try it. Even if you don't buy the masala spice mix, buy Indian mango pickles or any kind of pickle, but mango pickle is like the classic. Buy mango pickles from an Indian store. They're so good, and then you can see if you like the spice because that's what it's in there. The spice is in there. So I added that to the peanut butter to make it spicy. Now, as if that wasn't enough, as if it wasn't sour and spicy enough, I added lemon juice to it, and then I added my homemade hot sauce. It's in a maple syrup jar, but it is hot sauce. Jamie Fraid says, "Hi, Elisa. Hi, Jamie. I'm explaining what I ate to Brooke because she wasn't here because she missed it. But this is homemade hot sauce. I fermented the chilies for this, and I was saying this earlier. If you want one weekend instead of doing bread, I could show you how to ferment something. And chilies are a really good thing to ferment for hot sauce. If you want to recreate this toast for whatever reason, you just love this toast, you love the idea of it because it's so good, you can use sriracha or any other hot sauce. Pumpkin says, "Where do you keep your maple syrup?" I keep my maple syrup in the sriracha jar because I just like to mix things up. But no, what happened was we finished this maple syrup, Brooke. Pumpkin. We finished it, and then I saved the bottle, and then I put hot sauce in it afterwards. But yeah, I should put the maple syrup in the sriracha jar and just confuse everyone. And then I put parsley on it for green and health. Yeah, that is what I did this at 1. Pumpkin says, "I love reusing classical brand tomato sauce jars. Don't they make everything taste like tomatoes though? I feel like the cap smells like tomatoes." Pumpkin says, "Wash them! Duh! Wash them!" Oh, I don't use the cap. Oh, what do you... Yeah, the cap is what smells like tomatoes. I use them for iced coffee. Oh, Pumpkin says I use them for iced coffee. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, like here I have... You can see I have... It's a cup. Pumpkin says it's a cup now. Look. This is a salsa verde jar. Obviously, this is parsley. So I used it to keep my parsley alive longer. This is a good tip. Pumpkin says Cody loves this stuff. Maybe it's a boy thing because I like it too, but Gonzalo loves this. Loves this, and this brand is really good too. It's not that expensive. It's Pumpkin says I hate it. Why do you hate it? Is it too salty or something? It is a little salty. But to make it yourself, I feel like you got to get tomatillos, and I feel like tomatillos are a little expensive. Pumpkin says I don't like spicy. Is this not the mild one? Oh, this one says medium. There's a mild one, Pumpkin. If you can find it, there is a mild one. Pumpkin says it's so spicy. Uh-oh. I don't have nothing to tell you then. Yeah, my husband Gonzalo does love this stuff. It's his favorite salsa is the green salsa. I like the red one more, but we usually get the green one. That's his favorite, and I love my husband, so I get him what he wants. Yeah, obviously this is not salsa verde anymore. I use it for my parsley, and if you have herbs, this is a good way to keep them like good longer. You can put them in a jar with water, and then you can put plastic over it and put it in the fridge. Like, this one's pretty old, but this one's a week old. And it's still fine. the parsley. It's the week old, and it's still fine. But yeah, we like using jars around here too. Probably, I'm sure Pumpkin is aware of that because she's been here and she's seen all the jars. So yeah, we reuse the jars. But sometimes, like Pumpkin mentioned too, the caps. It's hard to get the smell off the caps depending on what it is. I feel like tomato products, it always smells like tomatoes. You can't get the tomato off the jar if it's a tomato product. But it could become iced, a nice coffee cup. Good. So Jamie, what are you doing? Are you still here for Valentine's Day? Jamie says, I love spicy. Me too, Jamie. Me too. I love spicy. I put hot sauce on. Jamie says, I put hot sauce on everything. Yeah, me too. I put hot sauce on everything. Jamie, try peanut butter toast with hot sauce. Especially like sriracha or something sweet and spicy. Pumpkin says Jamie loves Italian dressing. I don't know where that came from. Jamie Freight says that sounds amazing. Yeah, it's kind of like, so I didn't say this before, but the savory peanut butter toast. I'm sure most of you have had. Jamie says I've put hot sauce over Italian dressing. That sounds good to me. I don't know. Pumpkin, I'm just full of Jamie facts. Pumpkin says. So, I'm sure like you've had this before. Like you've had Thai, not pumpkin, peanut sauce. You've had Thai peanut sauce, which is like a sweet, sour, spicy, salty peanut sauce, right? With peanut butter. Or I think they ground their own peanuts for it, but like you can find recipes online that use peanut butter instead because it's easier. But so why not make savory peanut butter toast that's sweet, spicy, salty, and all those good flavors. So yeah, it's kind of like that. So if you think of it like that, you realize, oh, it's not that weird to put like hot sauce on peanut butter toast. So I always do, like, you can literally just do peanut butter and sriracha and it's good like that. But I usually put like parsley on it or some green on it, and like sometimes lemon juice, sometimes like different spice mixes like this. But like you could literally do peanut butter and sriracha and it's good. That's all it needs. It's good. But it's always good to have other things for #health, #greens. You do greens every day. But yeah, what else do we put hot sauce on? I don't know. I do put hot sauce on everything. I mean, I eat a lot of toast. So a lot of hummus toast I put hot sauce on. Avocado toast I put hot sauce on. That's not that weird. Not that weird. Pumpkin says, can you make vegan buffalo chicken dip? Yeah, I can. So the thing is, buffalo dip, correct me if I'm wrong, is usually mixed butter and hot sauce, right? So you can mix vegan butter and hot sauce. I'm sure there's a pumpkin says, and cream cheese, really? Wow, that's crazy. So I'm sure you could do it. You could literally buy like vegan butter and vegan cream cheese and vegan and obviously and hot sauce and mix it and get a similar result. I feel like you could also do it if you don't want to get like the vegan butter and vegan cream cheese and vegan hot sauce. I'm sure you could experiment with like doing something. It has to be something fatty. That's the thing. It has to be something fatty. So you might be able to experiment with like coconut cream with like if you want it to be sour from the cream cheese, something a souring agent like lemon or something. It might not be quite as similar, but if you don't want to buy like all the other ingredients, I'm sure you could experiment with that. I've never done it though, I can't say. Pumpkin, what would you use for the shredded chicken? Oh, shredded chicken, I would say use shredded chicken on buffalo. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yes. I've seen this with jackfruit. I've seen them use jackfruit. And for people who don't know, jackfruit, it is from a fruit. Pumpkin says, oh, it's a huge fruit. I've actually seen them in real life. And when I took a trip to Sri Lanka, I don't know how they even stay in the trees because they're that big. But jackfruit, when it's unripe, Pumpkin likes jackfruit. Yeah, we like jackfruit too. When it's unripe, it's not sweet. When it's ripe, it's very sweet. It's a fruit, right? But when it's unripe, it's kind of starchy a little. It's like, it's fibrous. but you can pull it apart. You can kind of shred it. So a lot of vegans use it for shredded chicken. So jackfruit, yeah, I would probably use jackfruit, or if you don't need it to be like, or mushrooms, you can shred like oyster mushrooms. Kind of, you can shred them, the king oyster mushrooms. That might be more expensive though. If you don't need it to be shreddy, if you just need it to be like chicken pieces, which is what I was thinking at first, you can use like tofu or cauliflower. Like I've seen people make cauliflower wings. Pumpkin says, I'm so bad at cooking mushrooms. I try so many. Not even like the regular cremini mushrooms you can't cook, Pumpkin. But yeah, for like chicken pieces, like tofu, cauliflower, or I might use like the soy chunks that you can. I've seen them at like specialty vegan stores, but also like Asian stores sometimes have the soy chunks. They're like just big chunks of soy. Pumpkin says no. Wait, really? You can't cook like cremini mushrooms? You can just saute them on the pan. I'm so confused. You don't have to put. You can just put salt and pepper on them and saute them. It's fine. Pumpkin says, "I am incapable. Always taste bad." I'd have to watch you do it to figure out why they taste bad, or maybe you just don't like plain mushrooms. I don't know. I feel like mushrooms are pretty easy to cook, but they do have a taste. I like the taste of mushrooms, but they do have a taste. The Lala Ren, who I think is not in the chat anymore, she's like she hates mushrooms no matter what. So some people don't like them. But yeah, buffalo, shredded buffalo, like chicken, and I've seen like chicken wings with buffalo sauce on them, like veganized. I've seen that a lot online. I'm not really a big fan of buffalo sauce though. Maybe that's why I didn't know what was in it. I didn't know cream cheese was in buffalo sauce. I feel like it won't be. Is buffalo sauce then still spicy? If it doesn't have, if it has so much butter and cream cheese in it, I feel like it would be so mild. Pumpkin says a little. Yeah, it has so much fat in it that. So for those who don't know, those who aren't aware, I'm sure a lot of you know this. When you add fat or sugar or both, you end up taming down the spice level, right? Because it's just going to, obviously the spice is still in there. Pumpkin says delicious. The spice is still in there, but it just calms it down a little bit. The reaction of your tongue's reaction to it. So like that's why in sriracha there's sugar in sriracha, right? That's to calm down the spice a little bit. But it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. It can calm it down too much if it's not spicy at all anymore. But usually it's done for a good effect. Like I'm sure in buffalo sauce, like Pumpkin said, it's delicious. I'm sure it's for the effect that it's going for is like a creamy kind of spice. It's like going to be a slight spice, but not so overwhelming. And the fat is going to coat your tongue. So it's going to taste really good. That's why, fattening food tastes good for a reason, right? So it's the same thing like in Indian food is usually like, especially if you get it takeout Indian food, it's usually pretty oily. It has a lot of oil in it. And the oil like coats your tongue, right? And it coats all the spices all on your tongue. But it also calms down the spice to like an acceptable level, if that makes sense. So it's Pumpkin says I love bitter chicken. I thought you didn't like spicy food. Pumpkin. Yeah, I like butter chicken. I like chana masala, and I love Pumpkin says it isn't spicy to me, probably because of all the butter. Like I was talking about, it calms it down. But the other one I like is the eggplant one that I can't think of the name of. It's kind of like baba ganoush, but it's not. It's a little spicier than baba ganoush. It's really, really good. Pumpkin put a cat emoji. I'm not sure what the cat's doing though, yelling. The cat is yelling. But yeah. Yeah. So that's also why, like, peanut sauce. Pumpkin says, I just ate an entire container of baba ganoush yesterday. Baba ganoush is really good. Bangan Barta. Bangan Barta. That might not be how you pronounce it, but that is what it is. That's it's similar to baba ganoush. It's mashed up eggplant, but it's spicier. The Indian version, Bangan Barta, is spicier than baba ganoush. It's really good. I think Brooke, Pumpkin, you might like it. Oh yeah, that's why peanut sauce tastes good too, because peanuts are fat, right? We all know that peanuts are fatty and also super tasty, but they're fatty. And when you add all the other spices to it, they all complement each other, and the fat from the peanuts bring it together, and so it's not too spicy, but it's a good level of spice. But yeah, ex pumpkin baba ganoush is good. Do you make it yourself, or did you buy it? Pumpkin says absolutely not. Oh, THTM5. Anyone ever told you that you look a bit like Cody Ko's wife? Welcome to the chat, THTM5. Let me know if that's what I should call you. And who is Cody Ko? Who is Cody Ko? No one has ever told me that, so I'll have to remember that and look that up later if I don't know. I don't think I know who that is. I'm not really like good with celebrities, so I don't know all the celebrities. THTM5 says people just usually call me 5. Okay, 5. Cody Ko is a YouTuber. Oh, I don't know who that is. Pumpkin, I got you. Cody Ko is an actor, comedian, YouTuber, podcaster, SoundCloud rapper, internet bad boy, based in Venice, California. Oh, wow, okay. Yes, welcome to the chat, 5. 5 says, we've got Wikipedia with us right here. Yeah, okay, so Cody Ko's wife. All right, I'll do a quick look up while I'm on the stream to see if I think I look like Cody Ko's wife. But I've never heard, no one's ever said that. Cody Ko. And then his wife. I'm not Cody Ko's wife if you're wondering, because I'm married to somebody who's not named that. So, I don't think I look like her, but thank you for the compliments. She's very pretty, but a little bit in some of the pictures, like maybe from certain angles, maybe. But thank you for the compliment. So 5 says passing resemblance, similar eyes. Yeah, absolutely a compliment. Thank you. So, but like I said, I'm not his wife. I have another husband. Maybe I have 2 husbands. But yeah, 5, happy Valentine's Day. Are you doing anything for Valentine's Day? Anything special? Pumpkin says, I've never seen you and Cody Ko's wife in the same room. Uh-oh! I might be her. 5 says, I'm not, unfortunately. How's yours been? So many, Kia Hazura says, so many husbands. 5 says, exactly. And Pumpkin says, hi, Kia Hazura. Kyo, you were here earlier, so I'm not sure if you've been here the whole time or if you just came back, so welcome back. So yeah, my Valentine's Day is good. Like I said earlier, I know 5, you just came in, but I don't celebrate, I'm not big on the holidays, so, but mine's been good. My husband is home, so that is nice to have him home. I was supposed to go to work today, but I work at a college, and I'm like the professor's aide a little bit. That's not exactly my job title, but that's kind of what I do. And the professor called out sick, so I ended up having a double snow day because yesterday we had a snow day. So lucky me. So it's a nice Valentine's Day so far. Yeah, and like I said earlier too, I won't repeat the whole story, but today is Valentine's Day, which is the day I met my friend 8 years ago at a bake sale to raise money to save the whales, essentially. So that's what I think of when I think of Valentine's Day. Is it Valentine's Day? So I'm having a great Valentine's Day. Anyone else doing anything for Valentine's Day? Or I know Kyo is back in the chat. Or have any good Valentine's Day stories? I told some earlier. Kyo, I think you were here for that. 5 says, very unique. Yes, it is unique to meet your best friend on Valentine's Day. I don't think anyone has done that. But I'm sure we all have our own stories. Everyone has their own story. Pumpkin says, Kyo is sending me snacks via Uber Eats for Valentine's Day. Thanks, Kyo, for sending our moderator Pumpkin snacks for Valentine's Day via Uber Eats. What kind of snacks are you getting, Pumpkin? Expensive one. Kyo, you're gonna have to get a second job to raise money for Pumpkin's Valentine's Day snacks. You are. And for those of you 5, I know you weren't here, but this is a segment I want to do, trying to do every week. This is the first day, called Midweek Toast, where I just chat with you and eat toast. I finished my toast. I'm a fast eater, but it took me an hour to finish it while I was talking, so it would have been faster. I usually eat that like 5 minutes. So it's almost been 2 hours. So yeah, so I finished that. But I want to do this every week and show you guys the toasts and sandwiches that I eat. Kyo says, I don't know about this one, Chief. Kyo is getting another job. So yeah, I want to show you the sandwiches that I eat or toast that I eat every week. On the weekends, this is kind of a side segment, but on the weekends, I'm going to have longer streams, and I'm going to show you my sourdough bakes, and I'm going to go along the process with you. So from start to finish, show you what the beginning looks like and what the end looks like. So those are going to be much longer streams, and those are the main ones that I do on this channel. And this is just like a side segment to chat with you and show you like what I make with the sourdough afterwards. But yeah, today's the first one. I made a savory peanut butter toast. Not tomorrow, but next week I might make one with pickles. I'm thinking about, because I have pickles in the fridge, so might as well use them. I'll try to do different ones every week, even though I'm a creature of habit. So I like the same things. I'll eat the same things all the time, but I'll do different ones every week to show you, get different ideas. 5, are there any weird foods that you like to eat? For example, I was just eating peanut butter with hot sauce and lemon juice, and I also like a lot of peanut butter things, so I like peanut butter and pickles and stuff like that. And I was wondering if there's anything weird that you like to eat that other people think is gross. I know a lot of people think the peanut butter and pickle one is gross, but I think it's good. So Pumpkin says, do you like vegan cream cheese? Yeah, I do like vegan cream cheese. I really like the Miyoko's brand. It's a little more expensive. Pumpkin says you should eat that with apple slices. That would probably be good with raw apple slices, or I feel like it would be good if you made like sort of an applesauce, raw on toast. It's probably good. If you make like not an applesauce, but like you saute the apples down a little bit and put some cinnamon on them. I do that a lot with toast. I do make a peanut butter toast with that because I just love peanut butter. So I'll do peanut butter, and then the apples that I cooked down just a little bit, not until it was applesauce. It has to be crunchy. Texture is so important. So yeah, I'll try it your way, Pumpkin, with the cream cheese. I've also been experimenting making my own cream cheese, but it's not ready for the public. It's not ready for the public. But I wanted to try fermenting my own cream cheese, so I've been making, you can make it with any. Pumpkin says, Mom said that same thing when I told her everybody changing my apple toast. I'm sorry, I'm sorry for changing your idea. I have to try it your way first. But yeah, I've been experimenting making my own cream cheese. So I used raw peanut milk that I made myself, but you don't have to use raw peanut milk. But you should make the milk yourself, or it's not going to ferment. But it can be almond milk or walnut milk, or although be careful with the walnut milk because of the omega 3s. I would be careful, but I think you could still do it. But again, this is an experiment, so that's why I'm saying it's not ready for the public yet. Because I made the milk, then I curdled the milk with lemon juice, but it created very small curds, so it looked like yogurt when it was done. And then I fermented it, put salt in it so it wouldn't kill me and get mold or whatever. And I fermented it for 3 days, and it tastes really good. It does taste like cream cheese, but it looks like yogurt. It doesn't look like cream cheese. So yeah, I've been experimenting with that. But yeah, I like Miyoko's vegan cream cheese. If I had to pick a vegan cream cheese, Miyoko's, and it is a fermented one, so it's which I like. It's sour. I like the sour flavors. So I have to try Pumpkin's recipe with toast, cream cheese, and apples, raw apples. What kind of apples do you use, Pumpkin? Do you use Granny Smith? That's what I would use. But I don't know if you like Granny Smith. No! Pumpkin says no. I do, but not for this. Pumpkin says I do, but not for this. Okay. So it has to be a sweet one? Like which one? Golden Delicious. Oh, Pumpkin says Golden Delicious is the best. I like Golden Delicious, so I would try that. I would definitely try that. Pumpkin says yellow apples. They are yellow, aren't they? They're kind of greenish, but they are yellow. Yeah, that's why they're called Golden Delicious. Anyone excited for the spring coming up? I was saying earlier how the weather is like nice, but I guess yesterday was a snowstorm, so the weather isn't nice. I don't know. Pumpkin says, "Did you see the halftime show? That's a really good topic." I did. Pumpkin, did you see the halftime show? Or anyone else? Yeah. Pumpkin said, yeah. I saw the halftime show, and I gotta say, I was impressed. Oh, Pumpkin said, yeah, like Usher. Okay. I was impressed. I thought Usher was a has-been, but Pumpkin says, yes, thank you. I thought Usher was a has-been. Like, who cares about Usher? But you know what's good about has-beens is, they actually do what they're supposed to do. And, I mean, a lot of halftime show, Pumpkin said Usher is cool. A lot of the halftime shows, I'm sure you guys all know this already. We don't have to tell you, not news, but they don't actually sing. It's mostly lip sync, right? And it's Pumpkin said Alicia Keys is cool. Yeah, I agree. I was excited when Alicia Keys came up. So a lot of halftime shows they lip sync, and I'm not into that. I know it's for the show because it's like hard to do it, dancing, singing. You're sweaty. It's probably hot. I don't know. It's hard. I'm not a performer, so I give them props. Pumpkin says Alicia Keys definitely was singing, her voice cracked, and they edited it for the NFL website post. Yeah, Alicia Keys was singing, but so was Usher. Usher was singing too. His voice cracked a few times, and I was impressed. And that's what I mean. Pumpkin said, "Oh." I was impressed because I was saying these has-beens who were kind of old news, but at least they do what they're supposed to do. As soon as he opened his mouth and I heard that he was singing, I was like, oh, I'm impressed. I'm interested. And I did like this show. I liked all the... Pumpkin says they are great. Yeah, they are. I liked all the cameos. And Pumpkin says even Ludacris was there. Yes, I liked all the cameos. Every cameo that came up except for maybe one or two I didn't know who they were. But all the cameos I knew where they were. I was like, ooh, that's exciting. I was like, ooh, Alicia Keys. Ooh, Ludacris. Ooh, Little John. There's other ones. I don't remember everyone. But, I got excited for the cameos. And I thought Usher did a good job. But I must say, Pumpkin, tell me what you think of this. And anyone else, Jamie in the chat. I don't know if Five is still in the chat. I thought his outfits were crazy. Usher's outfits were crazy. Does anyone have any opinion on that? Pumpkin likes them. This is my first week doing this, like I said, and it's sunny because the sun is reflecting off the snow, so it's extra sunny. So I'm gonna have to find a spot in here that would, for a midweek toast at 1 p.m. where it's gonna be the sunniest, what would be the best spot? So next week I will. Usher, and Pumpkin says Usher was shiny. Yes, did you see the outfit where like he had a chest plate, like he had like, and he had like, it was sparkly, and he had like abs in his outfit, like he was Batman or something, but it was sparkly and blue. That was crazy, that outfit. Pumpkin said he is prepared. Yeah, he was prepared for something. I don't know what. Yeah, so but I was impressed with the halftime show. It was better than I was expecting. Very good, Usher. Maybe he'll make a comeback, but I doubt it. But this is actually a good topic too. And I don't know like who's in the chat, who wants to chime in. I don't know how old all of you are. Pumpkin said, "Did you see NSYNC and Backstreet Boys are on tour?" No, I didn't see that, Pumpkin. But are you gonna go? Are you gonna go see Backstreet Boys and NSYNC? Are they on tour together or separate? Pumpkin says tickets are like $500. I want to cry. Yeah, that sounds about right. Pumpkin says separate. Yeah, well, first of all, that's another topic altogether. Like, ticket prices are crazy. Like, it's like thousands of dollars to go see a concert these days. Pumpkin says too many dollars. Yeah, I agree. For one ticket, because you're gonna want to bring someone else. You know, at least one other person. Probably a few more people. That's like, if you want in one other person $1,000 to go to a concert, that's insane. That's not how it should be. But that's a whole nother story with the ticket prices for concerts. But so in terms of like star power, especially in the music industry, it's like most of the popular acts still are legacy acts. And all I mean is that they're popular. Pumpkin says, she's talking to Keo, instead of snacks, I will take one Backstreet Boy ticket. Okay. Keo has to get their job now to afford Brooke for his Valentine. So like all the acts are legacy acts. And that just means that like they're old acts and they're popular because they've been popular forever and they've maintained their popularity. Like Taylor Swift, the most popular musician today, is a legacy act. So is Beyonce. So is her husband Jay-Z, even though I don't know if he does anything that much anymore. But essentially all of these people are, right? Backstreet Boys and NSYNC are legacy acts. Pumpkin says Beyonce's new song is so good. I have to listen to that, Pumpkin. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard the new song. But yeah, so Munchkin is coughing. My cat, Munchkin, is coughing. So all these are legacy acts. And I really can't think of that many. Maybe Ice Spice is a new artist, but then you think of the other artists in that genre, like I can't believe I forgot her name. Brooke, you know her. Not Little Kim, but the other one. Little Kim is also a legacy act, but she's not really as popular as like the Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is a legacy act. Cardi B is a legacy act. Yeah, Nicki Minaj. Pumpkin got it. Nicki Minaj. And all these people, I can't think of many new artists, right? All the artists that are still popular are older artists. Shakira is a legacy act. She's still popular, right? And it's so odd. I was talking about this the other day with Pumpkin in the chat, actually, about like, because she said she listens to all this old music, and so do I, really. And it might be because we're old folkies now. Like, I'm an old folky, right? I think, oh, the kids' music these days no good. Oh. But I really do think Pumpkin says I'm 21, which we'll just say it's true. It might be true to some extent that we just get old and you just don't like the new music that's coming out. But I do think the internet has changed music. And that's why there's no more superstars, because the way that people used to become superstars in terms of music superstars is so different now. And people just aren't becoming superstars. People can get likes on TikTok, but that doesn't mean they're going to become a music hit sensation. Yeah, Pumpkin says TikTokers are celebrities now. Yeah, TikTokers are celebrities now. It's so weird. It's really weird. Yeah, but that's why it's like Usher being on the Super Bowl is like kind of weird, but also not weird. You know, the biggest artist being Taylor Swift, who is, you have to remember. I mean, I'm in my 30s, and Taylor Swift was a very popular, maybe not as popular as now. It's true, Pumpkin, the Super Bowl does cater to older people. But Taylor Swift, the most popular musician now, was very popular still already, I should say, when I was in high school, and I'm in my 30s. So half my life, Taylor Swift has been a popular artist, and now she's the most popular artist. And the same thing with Beyonce, actually. But Beyonce has been popular since I was probably in elementary school, maybe middle school, but I think in elementary school she was already in Destiny's Child. So yeah, this is kind of an interesting state in our music. I don't know what's going to happen when all of the legacy acts retire. Eventually, they'll retire. Not that they have to. I know the Beach Boys are still going on tour, and I think they're in their 70s. So I guess they could still keep going until they die, but a lot of them will eventually retire. But yeah, Pumpkin and I are going to see Fall Out Boy next month. Actually, it's coming up. It is coming up, and they're a legacy act. Pumpkin's excited. She has excited emoji. Yeah, that's a legacy act, definitely. They're not as popular as they were, when I was a kid, or even when I was in my early 20s. They had to come back and were really popular. But they're still fairly popular. And the same thing with like all those other bands from that time. Like if My Chemical Romance actually did do a tour. They didn't get back together, I think, permanently, but they did a tour like a few years ago. And, of course it was a big deal, right? Pumpkin says I couldn't afford their tour. Pumpkin says that was insane. Yeah. Yeah. Concert tickets are nuts. I just don't remember being like this. Like we did when we actually, funny story. Pumpkin and I already saw Fall Out Boy this year. Pumpkin says almost 1,000 for a bad seat. That's insane. But when Pumpkin and I saw Fall Out Boy the first time, we saw them at the PNC Arts Center, and we got lawn seats. If any of you are in New Jersey, that's a good venue. I don't want to give it away, but that's a good venue. We're gonna get cheaper seats than if you go to New York City. And if it's nice outside, which you have to fingers crossed that it stays nice, that's the only problem. It could be bad. It could be rainy or something. But if it's a nice night, it's so gorgeous, and it's so nice to be outside listening to the concert. Pumpkin says I'm going to mosh this time. Good luck. To Avril Lavigne. You're gonna mosh to Avril Lavigne. We saw people grinding. Pumpkin says even better. We saw people grinding at the Fall Out Boy concert in the summer. Like they're, I don't know, at a cringy high school dance. That's what it seemed like. That was awkward. That was weird. Never seen that before. People are weird when they get drunk and they're at a concert. Pumpkin says Patrick Stump just makes people feel some kind of way. Yeah. I don't want to make this a Fall Out Boy stream, but Gonzalo and I were watching Patrick Stump drum today. Earlier, Gonzalo's my husband, because I mentioned that he drums, and Gonzalo's like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, oh, actually, he does. And we watched a video of him drumming, and it must have been like 10 years old or something. And it was at a concert, and all the girls, women, girls in the stadium were screaming. So I guess Brooke, you're right. Pumpkin, you're right. Patrick Stump just makes people feel some kind of way. Just does. Makes people want to grind um, in the concert. So yeah, but we went into the Fall Out Boy concert in the summer at the PNC Arts Center. I think it was like $30 something per ticket for lawn seats. And then we're going to Madison Square Garden next month, and they're like $100 something for they're nosebleed seats, but I think it's going to be good. We'll see when we get there. I did a lot of research and looked for pictures from the seat to see the angle that it's at, and I think it's going to be a good seat. I think even though we're up high, I think we're going to get perfect view because no one's in front of us. That's the main thing I wanted. No one's standing in front of us, so we don't even have to like look over people like that. Just see it straight through, straightforward. But yeah, those are like over $100. So it does depend on the venue too and the location. Like New York City is a more highly wanted location, but it's also the way Ticketmaster works is from my understanding is what's been going on is there's a lot of bots buying up the tickets and then they resell them for a higher price. Pumpkin or Jamie or anyone else in the chat, have you heard of this? That's what I heard is happening. Simo108R, please let me know if you want me to call you Simo or Simo or something else. Says I have. Buying them cheap. Simo says buying them cheap and selling them for 3 times the price. Yeah, and that's been a problem. Simo says, "Oh, go wild. I don't mind." Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So welcome to the chat, Simo. Yeah, I've seen that being a problem. I think that became like a big issue, and because I think some Taylor Swift fans were trying to sue Ticketmaster for this reason. But I'm also a Lana Del Rey fan. Maybe that's TMI. Now you know too much about me. But my husband was trying to get me to go to a Lana Del Rey concert. Little did he know that I didn't want to go. Even though I'm a fan, I didn't want to go. It was just going to be a bunch of screaming girls and they're crying and she has a young fan base for some reason, even though again she's a legacy act at this point. She's been around for a while, but she has a young fan base, and they'd all be screaming and crying, and I really didn't want to deal with that. But also the tickets are really expensive for what they are. Like I said, we saw Fall Out Boy last year, lawn seats for $30. Lana Del Rey tickets were going for like over $1,000, and it's because of the resellers and because these kids were willing to pay the price. Essentially, the kids were willing to pay the price, like over $1,000 this year. So it's, to me, that's obviously not worth it. I've been to concerts, but I guess because they're young, they haven't been to concerts. Simo says $1,000. That's outrageous. I agree. That's so outrageous, especially because you can't even hear anything, right? Because everyone's screaming. But I've been, I'm older. I've been to concerts. I don't need to go to another concert. I like going to concerts, but I don't need to go. That's a little silly, right? That expensive. But I feel bad a little for the young people. They want to experience that. They want to go to a concert. Maybe they don't realize how much a concert's supposed to be, or maybe they think it's going to be worth it. But a concert only lasts, like, especially because Lana Del Rey always comes out late and then leaves early. They don't last that long. Her concerts are like an hour long. It's not worth it at all. Not at all. But last year, like I said, when Pumpkin and we saw Fall Out Boy live. They were on for almost 3 hours. It was well worth $30. Okay, great time, great. And my husband, this is actually a good story. My husband was trying to get me to go to a concert for a while. He wanted to go to a concert, and he knows what music I like. He knows what I listen to for the most part. And he tried to get me to see Lorde, which I also like and listen to Lorde. kind of similar to Lana Del Rey in that genre. But I was kind of like, the tickets were like not 1,000, but I think they're up almost to 500 for nosebleed seats because I looked at it and I was like, it's not worth it. Like, it's mostly electronic music, and I feel like that sounds better at home, recorded version. And Lana Del Rey, same thing. I think the recorded version usually sounds better than her live version. No offense to her, she's great. I listen to her a lot, but I think the recorded version usually sounds better. So there's really, to me, not worth it. But my sister, who knows me so well, she knows me so well. She knows how to get me to go to a concert. My husband knows me well too, but he didn't know how to get me to go to a concert. He knew what I like to listen to at home, but he didn't know what I would like to listen to at a concert. But my sister did, and she sent me a link to the Fall Boy show. And at first I wasn't sure. Yes, my sister Pumpkin, she knew me longer. I wasn't sure at first, but then I listened to their new album, which I didn't know had come out. I knew came out because I had to look it up. And I actually liked it, and that's when I was like, yes, let's go. And I got super excited and got super into Fall Boy. I went through a phase where I just was listening to Fall Boy over and over and over again. When I go through cycles with music, I'm sure you guys do too. I'm sure that's pretty common. But I went through a Fall Boy cycle, and then I go through another cycle, and sometimes I come back. Yeah, I got super excited, and I was so pumped for it. And I was just like, Gonzalo, if you just said we're going to go to a Fall Boy concert, you could have gotten me to go to a concert a long time ago. But my sister knew. Plus, it was cheap. Tickets were like $30. I was like, yeah, that's going to be great. And it was. So don't spend a lot on concert tickets. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I really I don't know if anyone has like Simo, if you have any concerts like that you like to go to. What genres do you like to listen to at home versus go to live? Like I do like electronic music, especially I like dancing. So I love dance music like disco. I love like old disco, 70s. I like electronic music that you can dance to. Not EDM like the I don't like that. But like Lorde, stuff like Lorde and Billie Eilish. I do like that, and Lana Del Rey. But I wouldn't necessarily want to go to a concert of that. I'd rather go to a rock concert. Pumpkin says, let's bring ska back. I've actually been to a ska concert. I've been to a ska concert to a band. I don't remember the name of the band. I don't really like the band. So this is like the difference, right? Between like listening to music at home and going to a concert. I agree. Let's bring ska back. The nerdiest genre ever. But some music I would rather listen to live, and it's more fun to hear it live. I think ska is like one of those genres. It's a very weird, nerdy genre, but it does sound good live. It's like it's upbeat. You can dance to it live too, and it has all the music. Simo says, "Oh, I like music, but not really big fan of concerts. Only looked at Post Malone, but thought $100+ was too much for a ticket. Plus, I would have to get a hotel." Yeah, Post Malone. I like Post Malone. Again, I don't think I'd go to his concert though. I don't think so. Does he still make music? I'm not up to date. That's another legacy act if you think about it. That he's pretty old at this point. There's no new, besides maybe Ice Spice. There's no new musical artists. Not really. That's my take. But yeah, I like Post Malone too. But I wouldn't go to. I don't think I'd go to a rap concert. So, well, is he old? He was around. Simo says, not joking. He was around like when I was in college. He's been around for at least 10 years. He had to be being around for at least 10 years. Pumpkin says he's only 28. Did he start when he was a teenager? Or am I thinking of someone else? He's the one, better now, that one. I couldn't name one Post Malone song. Better Now, I'm thinking, Congratulations. Congratulations. That's all I'll sing for you. There's a lot of them. He has a lot of hits. But I probably wouldn't see him in concert. Simon says his album Stoney came out in 2016. So almost 10 years. 8 years. Okay. In a few years, I'll consider him a legacy act. But he is an older artist. In my view. Pumpkin says, geez. He does have a lot of hits, though. He has got the hits. Definitely. but yeah, I would rather go to like a rock concert, definitely. And I think my sister knew that. I just think it's more fun. You get to hear the live instruments. Like I don't want to hear the recorded instruments at a concert. I don't want to hear the recorded. I want to hear the live instruments. That's the point. You get a and I don't really like. So I think my sister disagrees with me on this. Pumpkin says I want to see Bowling for Soup again. You didn't go last time they were here. They were here. I think last year, right? Um, but I also don't like it too much if they put too much of a show on. Personally, because I think that takes away from the the um the music. I don't like it when they're all glittery, like Usher in the Super Bowl. Simon says, "What do you define as rock? What do we define as rock?" I'm 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 using the word rock very broadly. Maybe you can use alternative, right? So I don't mean like hard rock or old school rock and roll, even. If it's pop rock or pop punk or just broadly alternative, I'll count it. If they're playing these days, okay, Simo, these days, if they're playing instruments, because it's like fairly rare, although there was like a mini comeback, I think, it's fairly rare for these people to be playing their own instruments. I'm like, oh, it's rock. Pumpkin, she said these days. Yes, these days. If they're playing their own instruments, it's like rock. So I do consider Fall Boy in the rock genre. I do. Even though it might be like pop punk or pop rock, I'll put it in the rock genre. Right? It's different than seeing like my husband wanted to get me to see Lana Del Rey, which also gets put in the alternative genre. Like for the this is a little off topic, but for what was it, the video VMAs, the video music award. Lana Del Rey won the alternative for the alternative music video. And I guess it is alternative, but then also Fall Out Boy was in that category too, and so was Paramore, and so was Green Day, and I think Blink 182 was in that category. So it was like pretty broad category alternative. But yeah, Pumpkin says I like Miley a lot lately. I have no problem with Miley Cyrus. I don't listen to her out of like go out of my way to listen to her, but I have no problem with her. Well, she's not rock. Is that what Simo you're asking? I have no problem with Miley Cyrus. Pumpkin says she did a Heart of Glass cover that was really good. I heard that. I think I heard that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I like that song a lot. It's a Blondie song. And it was, yeah, I think it was good. It was good. But yeah. Yeah, it's good. But that's interesting too, like how we define different music genres. Like, now most music is hip hop influenced at the very least, although might be changing. Again, I'm not hip with the times, but this is from my understanding. Pumpkin said everyone is really upset Beyonce did a country song. Yeah, maybe things are changing. Like maybe the trend might be changing because maybe people are bored. You know, people get bored and they change the trends. I would like to hear a country song from Beyonce. That sounds good. You said that's her new song. You said it's really good. That's her new one, and it's really good. Simon says, "Oh yeah, country's coming back apparently." Yeah, might as well. What happened with country, from my understanding and from what I can see, is that it became too corny and it became like almost like it was mocking itself, like pickup trucks and families and I don't know what else they were singing about, cowboy hats and pretty girls, and they just sing songs about that in a country accent and call it a day, and that's kind of boring. So I guess we just made fun of it, and it wasn't that interesting to most people, except people who went on their way to listen to country music or like people who live in the South, maybe. But country's coming back apparently. Simo says. I could see that happening. Is it the kind of country that I'm talking about that I just mentioned, like the pickup trucks and pretty ladies and cowboy hats, or is it like that old like folksy kind of country? I kind of like that one, like the folksy kind of country. Which one is coming back? Or is it a different one? Is it a different one? Yeah, and I know like rock music was kind of coming back, although I'm not sure. Like with what's his name? There was a rapper who did rock leave? Pumpkin rock left. Pumpkin. What? Sibo says you've got me cornered. I don't listen to it enough. Pumpkin says, where did it go? I don't know, but think of music of the past, say 10 years. What is a major rock artist? Even pop, punk, or pop rock. What could you think of? Because I can't think of one. That's not a legacy act. Like obviously Green Day still exists. Blink-182. Simo says it skipped a bit. Yeah, it hasn't been around. Hasn't been around. But there was that one rapper who I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. He made a song called Emo Girl, and it was relatively recently, like, I don't know. 2 years ago? I don't remember. And it was like, I'm in love with an emo girl, blah, blah, blah. And it had like a Blink-182 beat, almost. And he was supposed to be bringing like pop punk back or something. Pumpkin said that's funny. Yeah, but what's so funny, I have to find the lyrics. I'll just find the lyrics right now since we're talking about it. What's so funny is he wasn't describing an emo girl. Simo, I don't know where you were in 2007. Like I said, I don't claim to know everyone's backstory, but I'm assuming you might know what an emo girl is. Oh, it's Machine Gun Kelly who wrote this, or I'm assuming you wrote it, but he performed it as well. So it doesn't really describe what an emo girl is. So it's like she's got makeup by the mirror in her bathroom, thigh-high fishnets and some black boots, nose pierced with the cigarette perfume, half dead but she still looks so cute. She's a monster in disguise and she knows all the words to the trap songs. Takes pics with a cherry red lipstick. She only dates guys with a big And then goes, I fell in love with an emo girl, and that's the chorus, right? So I have questions about this song, right? Okay, so first of all, what's cigarette perfume? Secondly, she knows all the words to the trap songs. Emo girls didn't know all the words to trap songs. They didn't even know what trap was back then. Takes pics with a cherry red lipstick. Maybe like scene girl. Maybe he means like scene girls. Okay. Pumpkin, you answered my question. Because I was like, maybe scene girls wore lipstick, but emo girls did not wear lipstick. So the problem is, Machine Gun Kelly does not understand the intricate differences between emo and scene, okay? As he a millennial? I'm not sure. But let's say he might be a little older than us. But as, well, at least me and my sister, I'm not sure, Simo, how old you are, and I'm not going to venture to guess. But as me and my sister, and everyone who's a younger millennial knows the differences between a scene girl and an emo girl. So, Simo, do you remember the girls who used to, they wore a lot of makeup, and they straightened their hair, and they had raccoon stripes in their hair, and their hair was so straight that it like kind of frizzed out. Pumpkin says big color hair with raccoon stripes. Yeah, that's a scene girl. They wore a lot of makeup and they wore bright colors usually. Not always. It was like stripes like black, white, black, white, black, white. And it was big, it was teased out to be big too, like Pumpkin says, big color hair. And they wore bright clothes too. They wore bright clothes usually, but not always, but a lot of times they wore bright clothes. Whereas an emo girl was probably just, she had probably long hair with a fringe, wore black makeup, on the eyes only, not on the lips, just on the eyes, black makeup. and wore black clothing, usually skinny jeans and Converse. Nothing crazy, nothing too flashy. So what he was describing, Pumpkin says, I feel like emo scene can be used interchangeably, but scene was definitely one thing and emo could be both. This is Pumpkin said this is emo school now. This is emo school. Pumpkin, I agree with you. Like scene was like a type of emo. Like if that makes sense. Scene was a type of emo, but like at the same time, if you say emo, I wouldn't think scene. But if you say the scene girl, if you called her emo, it was like, oh, okay, but actually she's scene. If you're an emo kid, you might be offended. Yes, look at the picture. I was going to ask Pumpkin to put a picture up for a CMO of the scene girl because you've probably seen there are some girls who still dress like this, although it's rare. It's like kind of retro to dress like this, but they still do sometimes. Oh yeah, that's a good picture, Pumpkin. Wow, look at those raccoon stripes. She's got pink and yellow raccoon stripes and bright makeup and bright clothing. That's what I was talking about. She is honest. She is. Pumpkin said she is killing it. Honestly, Simo, have you seen girls like that? She's killing it. Honestly, yeah. Simo says not around here. If you don't mind me asking, Simo, where are you from? If you don't have to say if you don't feel comfortable. But I'm wondering if maybe they're more likely to be in an urban environment. Simo says have seen alt goth girls, but not that bright pink hair. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say it's like a sub. It's not. It's like a sub genre of like a alternative. Oh, Simo says, "Oh, I'm from Denmark." Oh yeah. Probably have to transport, ship out some scene girls out to Denmark from America. Yeah, I imagine there's not that many scene girls in Denmark. Although I've never been to Denmark, so that's really interesting. Were there any subcultures in Denmark? Did emo make it to Denmark? I'm assuming it must have. Right? So what we've decided now about this emo girl song, as Pumpkin said. So the thigh high fishnets and black boots. Simo says yeah, the emo kids did make it. So thigh high fishnets and black boots, and the she knows all the words to the trap songs, and then the cherry red lipstick. Those are all descriptions of probably a scene girl, and not necessarily like an emo girl, but a very specific. So yeah. When I was a kid, I was totally an emo kid. I didn't dress like that scene girl though. And that's why when I read that, I was just like, why aren't you just talking about eyeliner and skinny jeans and Converse? Because that's what emo kids wore. That's what I wore when I was a kid. Pumpkin says, Dear Diary, mood apathetic. Look up Simo if you're interested. I'm not going to mention it here because I guess there's some touchy issues in that song, although I think it is funny. Simo says it wasn't as widespread back in the early 2000s as the alt goth emo genre is today, I think. I don't know, to be honest. Pumpkin says it's a very dated song. Yes, it's very dated. You could say that's a good way to say it. It has a lot of, it talks a lot about things that we, in a way that we wouldn't talk about now. But is it called I'm an Emo Kid? I know it goes, I'm an emo kid. Not conforming as could be. You'd be not conforming too if you look just like me. Yeah, that's all I'm going to sing of that song. But it is funny, and I think it does say a lot about the culture in the 2000s. It's like a blast from the past. So if you're interested in the blast from the past, you can listen to that and watch that. So it wasn't as widespread. Oh, okay. Okay, so maybe Simo, it took a long time for it to get to Denmark. Because in the mid 2000s here, it was all about the emo. From like 2005 to 2010, it was all about the emo. Maybe like goth too, but mostly emo. And then it died down a little bit. The rock genre in general died off a little bit. Went into certain subcultures, and that was it. Yeah. So you're welcome for emo school. Pumpkin says, I miss those days.
But what is it? Is it just like basic nostalgia, or is there something else, Pumpkin, that you miss about those days? Pumpkin says, I want to go change my top 8 on MySpace, but that was so toxic. Simo, did you have a MySpace? Did you have a top 8 friends list? I remember if you had a best friend and you moved it, if you moved your best friend to number 2, that was like a stab in the back. You put your other friend in number 1. Simo says, "Oh no, I think I'm too young for that." Oh, bless your heart. That's good. Because let me tell you about MySpace. So on MySpace, it's kind of like Facebook but not. Okay? It was before Facebook. But like Facebook, you had your own page. So you can come to your, like, say Elisa had a page. I had a page, right? You'd come to Elisa's page and you'd see my picture, kind of like on Facebook. But the page was so customizable. It had us all doing code. Pumpkin can attest this. Pumpkin said, "Hee hee hee." It had us all doing code, right? So we are all coding, so we can put like different pictures there. We can put different like charts. Simo says, "You could play music, right?" Yes. Pumpkin said, "I'm working on the internet nostalgia stream sometime next week." Oh yeah, I'll watch that. That's good. Watch internet with the devil kittens. Okay. Yes, you can play music. So you would actually put a music player on your page. You can actually put your own music player that would play like a bunch of different songs. But it came with one, I believe, that you could just play one song. So every time you landed on someone's page, it played the song that they picked. All right, it played whatever song they picked. And you could do things like put like graphics. You can make it hearts fall down. You can change the background. Like, it was so customizable. Pumpkin says, if you were cool, your music was a band no one ever heard of, and you hide it so no one will still hear of them. Yes, so hipster culture was big too. So it was like you kind of wanted everything to be unique and your own. So if it was a popular band, it was ew, that's popular. Even though we all secretly liked the popular bands, right? We all liked like Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance, of course. But then we wanted it to be different, so we picked like a less known band that no one's ever, or we think no one's ever heard of, to put on our page to show how cool we were. But yeah, it was so customizable. But what was again different about Facebook is Facebook is that Facebook, you have all your friends, right? It just says Elisa's friends, and that's it. And you see a list. Well, in MySpace, it would say Elisa's top friends. And then Simo says, don't people still do that nowadays? Do customize their pages? You mean? I think they do, but I mean, I don't know if I can even describe. Like, we could change the color of the font on our pages and like change the background color on our pages. Simo says the choosing of a lesser band. Yeah, I think they still do. Like, hipsters still do that to try to show how cool they were or are. I think authenticity was really important to us when we were kids. And I'm sure it still is to kids today, too. Yeah. But we would have like top friends on MySpace. And it would be in order. It would be 1 spot, 2 spot, 3 spot, right? So you could, if say for example, I put my sister at number 1, and then I put maybe my husband at number 2. Simon says a way of calling people out, exactly. And then say I get into a fight with my sister, I can put her as number 5 or put her off the list entirely and replace her with someone else. So could you imagine high schoolers with this? It's crazy. It's just, it's nuts. High schoolers with this technology, okay? I don't recommend it, actually. It's a recipe for drama. But yeah, it's good that you didn't have MySpace, although Pumpkin is doing a stream about internet nostalgia, so I'm sure she's going to talk about MySpace. But yeah, Pumpkin, what are you just generally nostalgic?
Or do you think there was something actually better about that time? I mean, everyone gets nostalgic for the past. Even young people who are, in the time that most people feel nostalgic for it earlier past. Pumpkin says, I think things were like more fun because you were younger, because it was different. Pumpkin, like we were allowed to be cringe. I agree. So that's what I was thinking. I think now everything has to be so perfect because of the internet. Instagram kind of made this happen. Pumpkin says younger people are trying so hard to be grown up and boring. And Pumpkin says, and influencer types. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So, and it's because of the internet. Oh, hi Gonzalo. So, for example, like when we were younger, and of course we had the internet, we had MySpace. But, Pumpkin says in 2007, we were all red. And if you don't know, this little emoji XD is like, I guess it's supposed to be laughing, like you're laughing so hard your eyes are closed, but it's like it's an emoji that people use, and people used to say this, roar. I'm sure the moderator will remember this. Roar XD. It was very common to do that. But yeah. So Simo's laughing. Yeah. So roar means I love you in dinosaur. Pumpkin says roar means I love you in dinosaur. That's true. That is what roar means in dinosaur. So that came from like almost like a meme, right? It came from meme before there were memes, before we called them memes. But yeah, we had the internet, but it wasn't like it was today. What Pumpkin says, yeah, a webcomic. It wasn't like it was today. Like Simon says, a meme before time. Yes, it was a meme before time. And early internet culture was very bizarre. I'm sure you've seen some of the stop motion videos. Like, and he waddled, like the duck song. He waddled away, waddle, waddle. Like, internet culture was so weird. And if you haven't heard of the duck song, just look up the duck song and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the internet culture in the past was so weird, which is probably why Brooke is doing, Pumpkin is doing a nostalgia stream. That's going to be funny. Pumpkin says that joke is even older than when it was made into the YouTube video. I can't even imagine where that joke came from. Simo says, the important question is, do you have any grapes? Yes, so you know that one. So we did have that internet. We had that internet. But that internet is nothing like it is today. Social media is nothing like it is today, right? Like Pumpkin said, we were allowed to be cringy and children. And I think the main difference, the one thing I think has made our lives worse today, in relation to what we're talking about, is our addiction to our phones. I think so. So, like we lived through the age of the internet becoming what it is today. When we were kids, like everything, there was no internet really. Everything was. We didn't have DVDs. We had VHS. We didn't have computers. Their first computer was like, Pumpkin says, all my friends live in there. Simon says, friends. We didn't have computers. We just, we had a home computer, like one home computer. The first computer we got was one home computers. Pumpkin says, we can be friends, Simo. Yes. Please become friends. Simo says, I'd like that. So, we didn't have phones, so we didn't have access to the internet 24/7, is what I'm saying. And I think really what has changed is our access to the internet 24/7. That has made our lives worse. It has made our lives better in some ways, but in other ways, it has made our lives worse. So that's why I was asking Pumpkin what she's nostalgic for. Because, like I said, we all get nostalgic, but I'm wondering if it's for a specific reason. Like, do you really think the past there's something better about the past, or is it just because you miss being a kid? Simo, I don't know. Do you miss being a kid? I personally don't miss being a kid. I like being an adult. Pumpkin says it's the depression. Oh, that's sad. Please don't be depressed. Actually, addiction to your phone causes depression or influences depression. So put timers on your phones. Simo says, God, I miss my old Nokia. Had the fun mining game. I'm assuming the Nokia was the flip phone. I don't think it had a Nokia. I did have a Razr though, because I was so cool. So I had a Razr. But I had other phones too. I don't remember all the silly phones, the flip ones, and the. Simon says, I wish the ones that went like this. I had one that went like this. Pumpkin says, I want to play that game on the Captain Crunch. Okay, let me read that again. My husband also knows this game. I don't know if Simo knows this game. But Pumpkin says, I want to play that game on the Captain Crunch website that lets you raise a little goblin and feed him peanut butter crunch. Simo says, I actually never had a flip phone, only had a brick. Oh, a brick. I guess it just like is a bigger one, but it's like the screen's like this one, but it's bigger. Simo says, what game? I'm laughing hysterically because that is a real game. Pumpkin says, you heard me, Simo. My husband played this game too. It came in the Captain Crunch box. So it was like a little disc you put in your computer. And it came in the box. And so if you're lucky, you got to play this Captain Crunch game. And it let you like create a Captain Crunch monster. She called it a goblin, but I believe it's a little goblin, right? And you'd have to like feed it a Captain Crunch, Captain Crunch. It was great marketing. Oh, Pumpkin has a YouTube video for it. So Simo, if you want to look up the YouTube video, you can. It was great marketing, honestly. Simo says, oh, we don't have Captain Crunch. Oh, it's a cereal. It's a cereal. Yeah. So you have to feed it cereal, essentially. And it would grow up. And you can play mini games with it and stuff. It was kind of a silly game. Like, I don't know if it had a real purpose. But it was really fun. And we played it a lot. So great marketing. And yeah, it was great. But again, like we had these silly things. We had the internet. It was the beginning of the internet. At least the beginning of the internet being in people's homes. But we didn't have like access to it 24/7. And I think that is the main difference to me. It's so great that we have. It's in so many ways. It's so great that we have access to the internet 24/7. But in some ways, it's not so great. Like for example. I mentioned this in the last stream, but since I think everyone here is different than who was in my last stream, I'll mention it again. One of the professors I work with, she's older. I think she's in her 60s. And she has this great memory. She remembers like dates of things that happened. Like in this date, the Roman Empire fell. In this date, the battle of so-and-so was fought in this date, especially for historical facts. Like, she was naming historical dates like that. And I was just thinking, it just got me thinking. I don't remember any historical dates. Hardly any, even ones that you would think are really important. Like, I know July 4th, in America, July 4th was the Independence Day, just because it's a holiday. So, of course, I remember that. But most historical dates I don't remember. And you know why? Because I don't need to. I can look it up. Simo says, the Roman Empire, which one? Usually when we talk about the Roman Empire collapsing in the U.S., we're talking about like the really big one before it was split up and how it all collapsed. But you're right, because the Roman Empire did exist after it collapsed. Right? It did exist. So Simo, you probably know more about this than I do, but it did exist after it collapsed. But yeah, you get my point. She remembered all these dates. And historical facts. Again, I don't remember the historical facts. Simo says, oh, no. Simo, correct me if I'm wrong. Which one we're talking about. But she remembered all the historical facts. And I have to I looked them up. That's why I don't remember them. If I want to know about the Roman Empire, Simo, I don't put it in my head, right? I have some of it in my head, but hardly anything. I'll look it up. And I think I'm not the only one who's like that. I think most people do that now. That's what most people do. And maybe for most things, it's not that big of a deal. Like, why do I have to have information about the Roman Empire on the top of my head? For the most part, it's not a big deal, right? Who cares? But I think it is changing the way we process information. Pumpkin says the only thing in my head is pop songs from 2004 and Toontown animal noises. That's not good. That's not good. But yeah. Pumpkin says, I am doing fine. I guess so. I guess you have everything you need. Simo says, I like that we changed our education system to go from remember information to how to properly research information. Yeah, I mean, in some ways it's good. It's good to know how to research information properly. Yeah, it's very important. But I think it's going to change the way we process information, the way we think. I don't know. I'm just a layperson. I'm just thinking about these things, but I think we'll see with especially Gen Z we'll see it with, and Gen Alpha will definitely see how this works out. But also, like Pumpkin mentioned, social media is a problem. So it's like the way we process information, I think, will change. Our addiction to our phones is causing depression. And then social media, like Pumpkin mentioned earlier, social media makes us think, especially young people who are just learning about the world, it makes them think that they have to be perfect. They have to be a social media influencer. Everyone's a social media influencer. Everyone. All these kids. I remember when this was 10 years ago. So this was before I learn about things late. I think I usually learn about things late because I'm not always on the internet. Although sometimes I'm on it too much too, just like everyone else. But I didn't know about these YouTube trends and everything. And like 10 years ago, I was working at a tutoring company, so I was tutoring kids like SAT and stuff like that. But sometimes I tutor younger kids too. So I was doing he was either in middle school or in like 5th grade, around that age, 5th or 6th grade. And this kid, he was a brat. I don't remember his name, and even if I did, I wouldn't mention it. But he's probably in his 20s now, so hopefully he grew out of it. But he was a brat, and when I'd ask him stuff like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" he'd tell me he'd want to be a YouTuber, and he'd tell me about these YouTubers that did these prank videos or something like. It was one of those stupid things. Maybe like a Logan Paul-esque person, but I didn't know who Logan Paul was at the time. It might have been him, but someone like that, I'm assuming. He was watching these people and he wanted to be like them. And at the time, I didn't really get it because that's the first time I heard a kid say they wanted to be a YouTuber when they grew up. That's the first time I've heard that, right? Now I'm sure it's fairly common, but that was about 10 years ago. So maybe a little less than 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. But so like kids grow up, and not that you can be a YouTuber. It's not like you can do it. It's a possibility, right? But they see these really big YouTubers who are basically like they're celebrities, and they want to emulate them and want to do prank videos to become famous. It's like Bizarro World, and I guess it's similar to like how I idolized celebrities, but I don't know. I feel like there's still some problems with it, with the internet. Yeah. Seema, what do you think? You think we're all going to be fine and I'm over exaggerating? I'm overreacting? And Pumpkin, what do you think too? I know you're the one who's nostalgic for the past. Is it the same thing as idolizing celebrities? Like as in idolizing like musicians and actors like we still do and definitely did in the 2000s. We definitely had like celebrity gossip magazines and stuff, and now we just do it to like Logan Paul and his ilk. Cody Ko, someone mentioned earlier. I didn't know who that was. Pumpkin said, I think idolizing celebrities is strange too, honestly. I think they're both strange. That was definitely a problem in the early 2000s, wasn't it? Like, We had celebrity worship very badly. Pumpkin said, but I think Beyonce is far more impressive than TikTok. That might be the difference, yeah. Simo says, yeah, but that's just generally. Yeah, just generally. Just generally, things are going, I'm over exaggerating, or the internet is going to change things a lot. Yeah, I think celebrity worship was really bad in the 2000s. I guess it's still bad. Simo says, yeah, I agree. I think there's a big difference from acting and singing and holding a sign saying, hug me or something like that. Yeah, I guess so. We're getting at it's just more impressive to be a musician or actor than it is to be a TikTok celebrity. And Pumpkin says, like, why is Mr. Beast famous? I've never seen his videos, so I don't know. Pumpkin says he has money that's it. That's what he did. And he gave some of it away, maybe? I don't remember. I've never seen his videos, so I don't know a lot about Mr. Beast. But yeah, I guess we're getting at this. I guess it's different because it's a difference of degree. Like you're idolizing somebody who's just holding a hug me sign versus somebody who, I don't know, sings really well. Pumpkin said he would give money to people and record it and hold really weird contests. Yeah, okay. And I guess the problem was also the emulation. I guess you can emulate your favorite celebrity, but it's easier to emulate a TikToker. Pumpkin said he's actually a very bad man if you look up controversy on him. I heard he was controversial. I don't know what's going on. I can't say what is the controversy, but I heard there is controversy around him. Simo said, "Isn't that basically a TV show? I feel like YouTube has become TV, right? A lot of it. Some YouTube is very well made too, very well produced, like a TV show." Pumpkin said, "Yeah, basically, yeah, it's a TV show." But yeah, that's another problem too. Remember when we all complained about cable? Now what do we have? We have cable 2.0, and it's worse. Basically, all the streaming services, right? Because what they're all doing now is they're all like raising their prices or adding advertisements or making it so you can only have so many people on at once. Pumpkin says, I'm going to send you a video to watch after stream. Okay. Oh, about Mr. Beast. Yeah, we don't have to talk about Mr. Beast controversy here. Simo says, but it's still cheaper than going to the cinema. Yeah, I don't know. Pumpkin, when's the last time you went to the movies? Oh, Pumpkin said no, it's a funny video about streaming service. Okay. Yeah, streaming services are just like cable. Simo says, I like the cinema, but goddamn, it's pricey. I don't know how much a ticket is here in America anymore. I think they were trying to get people to come back after COVID. They might have lowered the prices. But I'm not sure. Pumpkin says we have a Star Plus that says $10 ticket and $5 on Tuesdays. That's a good price. Yeah, I think they lowered the prices after COVID. I think they did, at least here. I think the last time I went to actually the movies to see Barbie. I don't remember how much it was. Pumpkin, but I haven't been in a hot minute. Yeah, Simo says I'd be in there every day. Simo's coming. You can come to America and go to the movies here. Yeah, I don't go to the movies that much in general. I just usually watch it at home. Usually, if I want to see a movie, I just watch it at home. But yeah, the last time I went to the movies was to see Barbie. I enjoyed that movie experience. I'm glad I saw that in the movies. Simo says actually was a couple months ago. Good. What'd you see, Simo? But didn't go to the cinema. Oh, so you went to, where did you go? Oh, to the America. Oh. Which part of America did you come to? We're in New Jersey. So we're in the East Coast. At least me and my sister, and I'm not sure who else is hanging out with us, but I'm not sure where they're from. So yeah. Oh, on the opposite side, Simo says he went to Utah. Nice. I've never been to Utah. It's a nice. I feel like it must be very rural there. It must be very like. I feel almost empty, but that could be nice too to be empty. But maybe this Utah. Utah probably has mountains, right? This is where it's in the west. It's in Utah in the southwest. Should have mountains. But yeah. Yeah. Streaming services also ruining media. Simo says it was very lovely trip, very beautiful. I imagine it's very beautiful over there in Utah. Where we are is also beautiful in some parts, but also a lot more urban, I would imagine. But it also has a lot of beauty. Simo, but nothing against the Mormons, but religion isn't really my cup of tea. Oh, and Simo, why did you go? I was about to ask if maybe you had some friends who were Mormon. Because just so you know, the rest of the United States, the United States is big. I'm sure you know that. So some people in like other parts of the United States don't know like hardly anything about the other states. Simo says I have friends there. Okay, cool. So like here in New Jersey, if we hear Utah, we're just like Mormons. That's all we know. We don't know anything else, unless they have connections there. But most you're just like, oh yeah, Mormons live there. Pumpkin says the Book of Mormon is a great show. Yeah, Simo, if you ever come to the New York area, you can go to a Broadway show, see stuff like the Book of Mormon. I've never seen it, but I wanted to go see it. Sounds like a good show. And written by the same people who wrote South Park, I'm pretty sure. If you're interested. But yeah. Another thing that streaming services do is they do like bundles, just the same way. Simo says, "Oh, is it a comedy? It is a comedy. It is a comedy." Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's a musical comedy, both a musical and a comedy about Mormonism. Pumpkin says yes, about Mormonism. So yeah, streaming they do the bundles. Pumpkin says, "Please hold. I have a work call. Don't talk about me." Okay, we won't talk about you behind your back. They do bundles and like so you you can buy them all together. It's the same thing as if you're getting like a cable with bundles of like HBO and stuff. Sima says, but urban places can be very pretty too with the skyline. Sima says, oh, Pumpkin, oh, nice. Can't talk about her behind her back. Yeah. So we live pretty close to New York City, and actually, if I go up to the roof, Sima says, oh, let's do it. If we go up to the roof, we can see the skyline. We're not going up to the roof now, but if you do go up to the roof, you can see the skyline of the city. So that's how close I am. My sister Pumpkin is also pretty close, but not as close as I am. But she's also pretty close. So yeah, that's where we are in New Jersey. So if you ever come to the New York City area, it's very beautiful. It's just different than Utah. I'm sure. And my husband's from LA. Sima says Pumpkin is very Sima says Pumpkin is very bold, taking a work call in the middle of a stream. Yeah, she's bold like that. She was taking her midday nap, I think she told me before the stream. Before the stream, she was taking a midday nap. Yeah. So yeah. It's the same thing in Denmark, Simo? Is it the same thing? Is it like is cable not used anymore and everyone uses streaming, but it's super expensive at the same time? Or how do you watch your media? Do you just watch it for free somehow? Like the good old days when we got everything off LimeWire? Simo says, but yeah, I'd like to go to the States again, but debating a bit because I also want to see the Caribbean. Oh, where in the Caribbean do you want to see? switching topics, I just a few months ago I got back from a trip to Sri Lanka. It was actually my honeymoon, my official honeymoon. We actually went to Singapore, Thailand, and Sri Lanka. Um, Singapore and Thailand were more like pit stops, and I mean it was beautiful. And I wanted to go because I wanted to see East Asia. It was like Southeast South Asia, but I've already been to some places in West Asia, but I wanted to see more East, and I wanted to see the rainforest too. So it was kind of a bucket list type thing, and it was really beautiful. And most importantly, I saw the monkeys and I saw the bats, the flying foxes. So that was awesome. Simo says, "Well, cable isn't too expensive. You can buy a lot of different packages, but we all have a couple of channels for free, government owned. But I have some of the streaming services." Okay, yeah. So Simo, you're still using cable. That's probably good because actually here everyone uses streaming and it's like the same as cable but even more expensive. It used to be cheaper, but now since everyone uses it, it's become the second streaming. So it's so crazy. It's the second cable basically. It's so crazy. And then Simo says, "Oh, Sri Lanka, nice." And Simo says, "Congratulations." Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we actually got married a year ago, but we took the trip a little later because we wanted to make sure we had all our everything lined up very nicely. And then we also had a second, not ceremony. Simo says, we have cable, but we don't really use it." Yeah. We had a second ceremony with my husband's family in LA. I guess Pumpkin is back. She's peeking. Pumpkin's peeking in. Yeah. We had a second ceremony in LA and then we went. Oh, Simo says, "Oh, sounds nice, but sounds expensive." The second well, actually, it wasn't even a ceremony. It was just a celebration. The cable, Simo, or the trip, or the wedding, it wasn't that expensive. We kept it as low key as possible. The trip was pretty expensive, but most of it was spent on the plane tickets, which we used. My husband has like a credit card with like travel points on it, so I think most of the plane tickets were free. And Sri Lanka is very cheap. Like their how do you say that, currency? Their currency is very low value, unfortunately. So compared to the U.S. dollar, it's very cheap. And then the wedding, we kept it low key. It wasn't like a big wedding. I didn't even have like a proper wedding dress. Seema says, "Oh yeah, a lot of inflation." Yeah, yeah. Unfortunate. It's really unfortunate for the small country. What's been going on there, with the government and the inflation rate went so high, and then they didn't have gas for a while. But we really wanted to go and see really the landscape, the animals, the wildlife, and the train that goes through the rainforest. Really cool. So we really wanted to go. I wanted to go for a while. I was the one who put it in my husband said. And so we waited out a little bit until things calmed down, and then we went. And plus, they want tourists there anyway because that's how they make a lot of their money. Seema says, "Only seen pictures, but it looks almost magical." Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't look like real life. We have some good pictures of. There's one good picture of Gonzalo, my husband, took of me standing in front of the Nine Arches Bridge, which is it's a pretty big bridge, and trains go over it, and it's kind of like surrounded by like greenery, and it's in the mountains, so there's fog coming off of it. We had to hike to get there. So I was covered in mud because it was all clay, muddy clay, and I'm covered in mud. And Gonzalo takes a picture of me by the bridge, and it almost looks like the bridge is a green screen. It doesn't look real, but it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Yeah. So if you ever get the chance to go out, I would recommend it. The plane tickets are going to be the most expensive probably, but we had a great time. It was a bucket list trip for me. So I got that off my bucket list. And if the next trip we take will be my husband's choice because he has a bucket list trip, and then we're probably done for a while. No more travel. Pumpkin, you don't want to travel anywhere, right? And Sima, where in the Caribbean do you want to go? I don't know if you answered. Yeah, my husband, he wants to travel to next, which won't be for a few years, but I think he wants to travel to Scotland. Seema says, I don't know. I like history, so Cuba and Bahamas and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Seema says, what about you? Where do you like to go? Good question. Oh, Cuba. I think Cuba was just opened up to the U.S. like a few years ago, so for a while, Americans weren't allowed to travel to Cuba. But Cuba does look really, really beautiful. Like I was saying, my for me, my bucket list is over. Like I've been to Paris. I like to go to Scotland too. It sounds fun. Simo says, yeah, I've been to Paris. I've been to Mexico. Now I was in East Asia. I've been to some places in West Asia too, and my husband wants to see Scotland and the UK in general. So that's probably where we go next, but it wouldn't be for a few years. And then I don't know. Then we'll take a break probably from traveling. Traveling's great, but it's money, and we want to save money for a house and other life goals and things like that. And we eventually wanted to open a business too. That's going to be a lot of money. So Samo says, yeah, when I had to get my U.S. visa, I had to check a box saying I hadn't been to Cuba after 2019. Yeah, the U.S.-Cuba relations are not good, so we weren't allowed to go for a long time, and I still think it's hard to get there. Simo says, oh, a house in New Jersey sounds expensive. It is, Simo. You know it. Yeah, it is expensive. So we're seeing we might relocate, not anywhere too far. Like we probably still stay in New Jersey, maybe somewhere in Pennsylvania, but even then we'll probably stay in New Jersey. We always talk about leaving because it's expensive. Mostly it's mostly the taxes, Simo. It's the taxes. Like the taxes in New Jersey are crazy. Like 13,000. We're talking 13,000 US dollars per year in taxes just for property taxes. It's crazy. Simo says, "What is crazy?" Sorry, some people don't like to use the word crazy. I use that word a lot, but I mean like the property taxes in New Jersey could be $13,000 a year just in property taxes. That's not even the mortgage or anything. So that is way too high. Way too high. So that's why we always think, oh, we're gonna move somewhere else. But I mean, I don't know. I'm a Jersey girl. I love New Jersey, so I'll probably stay. But we'll see. I would like to buy a house, but that's a goal. But yeah, we want to save up, so we don't want to travel too much. We want to keep things simple. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, but the Bahamas sound beautiful. I don't usually like traveling to islands. I know I just went to Sri Lanka, which is an island, but it's a really big island. But like small islands, like I've been to Hawaii too, and it's I'm like I actually mentioned this earlier with my husband. Does anyone remember the Lilo and Stitch scene? If anyone's seen Lilo and Stitch, where Stitch is trying to get off the island. He's trying to look for a city. He actually doesn't realize he's on an island yet. So he gets on a bike, and I think it's a tricycle, and he starts pedaling around trying to get away. And every time he gets to the ocean, he gets angry. That's me on an island. I'm like, get me off the island. It's too small. It's like kind of scary. I think islands are scary because like if there's a hurricane or a tsunami or something, you can't really leave. there's nowhere to go. So if it's a small island, I'm like, the whole island's done for. So that's why I think islands are kind of scary. So I'm like Stitch in that way. Get me off the island. But yeah, let's see. So it's 4 p.m. now. I'm glad the stream actually went pretty long, but I think I'm gonna cut this stream soon. Simo said, oh, laughing. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Lilo and Stitch, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. So, but I'm gonna cut the stream soon. But I want to end by saying that thank you everyone for coming and chatting. Follow me if we had like a great chat today, and we've had a great chat. Simo says it's been some years. Follow me if you want to not only chat, but this was like a side segment for my regular segment. So midday toast is when we eat toast and chat. I had toast earlier, but we've been streaming for 3 hours, so I finished the toast. But midweek toast is when we eat toast on Wednesday for lunch, and we can chat. But on the weekends, we can also chat, but I'll be showing you how to make sourdough. So if you're interested in not only chatting, but in making sourdough and learning, I'm going to walk you through the process and everything. Come on the weekend. This weekend will be Sunday. Usually it's Saturday, but I have an event on Saturday to go to. So this weekend we're going to do it on Sunday. And I might even stream a little on Monday to show you the results. Oh, what time do you usually stream? 8 a.m. U.S. time on this week on Sunday. I'm not sure what time that is in Denmark. It actually might be better for you because it'd be a little later, I think. So U.S. time is 8 a.m. East Coast, I should say. Eastern Pacific. No. Eastern Pacific. Eastern time. East Coast time, 8 a.m. So for Denmark, that might be a little later, so that might be better for you. If I do change the time or the day, you can look on my page and I'll post that I'm going to change it. Like this week I posted I'm changing it to Sunday. But this week we're making bagels and miso banana bread. And then I might stream a little on Monday morning on President's Day and show you the end result of the bagels. I'm not sure yet. But definitely on Sunday at 8 a.m. I'm going to be streaming the process of making the bagels. It's 14, which is 2 p.m. We'll see. Simo says, but I'd like to see it. Awesome, Simo. So, I mean, if you don't come, I'll repost the stream on YouTube, so you can watch it afterwards if you want. But if you can't make it, but if you can make it, we'd be happy to have you there, and we'll chat and we'll make bagels. Yeah, and I'll show you. I'm gonna make a veganized classic New Jersey brunch food, which is bagels and lox. Simo, you might have heard of it. It's bagels, which is I'm sure you have bagels in Denmark, although they might be different there. It's like just like a very dense bread that's round and has a hole in it, and cream cheese. Pumpkin says, "I love bagel." Everyone loves bagels. Cream cheese and lox, which are smoked salmon. So I'm gonna make my own cream cheese with vegan milk, fermented vegan milk. I talked about that earlier. It's kind of an experiment. It tastes good, but I don't think it's quite like cream cheese yet, but we'll see. And I'm gonna make lox with tomatoes. I'm gonna smoke tomatoes and make lox. Simo says, I'd say it's rare seeing a bagel, but yes, we do have it. I'll show you to make it yourself in case you like them, right? In case you like them, you can make them yourself. But yeah, so I'll show you classic New Jersey lunch that we like to eat. And if you ever come to New York City area, you will see you can get bagels and lox. They're everywhere. They're sold everywhere, so you can get them. So it's like almost like a street food here. It's not quite a street food because you have to go to the deli to get it, but it's almost kind of like common like a street food. Simo says, gotta get I survived New York City shirt, I'm assuming, or hat, or maybe a pin. Yes. You'll be fine, Simo. Simo, you'll survive New York City. It'll be fine. Simo said, and I. Oh, I don't know. Simo says, I don't know. Maybe a hat or a pin or something, or a shirt that says, I survived New York City you can get. But you'll be fine, Simo. Tourists survive New York City every day, so you'll be okay. You'll survive. So yeah, I'm gonna make that next weekend on Sunday, so you can see us eat a classic New Jersey brunch. And then, like I said, if you're ever curious and if you ever come here, you can have your own. So yeah, I'll end the stream soon. Thank you for coming, Pumpkin. Thank you for moderating, even though I know you were on a work call. And Jamie, I think you're still here. Thank you for coming. And I'll see everyone who is available. I'll see you on Sunday. And if not, I'll post a stream so you can see it afterwards. And Pumpkin says, "Heart cat." Okay. All right, everyone. See you on Sunday. Have fun at work. Sima said, "Have fun at work." I think he's talking to you, Pumpkin. And have a great day, everyone. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Anyone who's celebrating, happy Valentine's Day.